neutral with items flying everywhere.
Yeah. Definitely a crazy team comp with two characters that are if you're very unfamiliar with it, you're not going to thrive, but we're going to start off here with a nice bear screw, going to be returning to neutral, a nice counter hit confirm, going to be leading into a conversion here with this Tager.
Immediately getting into the action, they're setting up a very cool item OP. Setting up some good pressure here. Ult jumps way high into the air. Getting all those items out.
Playing some neutral here, pops into the bomb, actually kind of ruining that combo, but still quite a bit of damage, but a nice read there on the JB, just going to be being that Noelle out of existence, slam her into the floor, she's gone.
Going right out of the sky. That's very funny. Oh, backdash to incoming, very nice. Trying to space out Makoto's stubby little arms here. Getting a combo going, getting all those items out onto the field.
Gonna be swapping over here into this Tager. Eats the curry here from that additional damage. The pinwheel gonna be popping the Makoto straight out. Pops that resonance. What they gonna do? Not gonna be blocking the buckets, and that should be it.
Very decisive match. Pat Neko had a bit of trouble catching up to Teddy there. Really dominated with all of those items flying everywhere. Very strong showing right off the bat.
Yeah, I'm definitely seeing some of those like matchup unfamiliarities, and like also combined with the fact that Noelle is not a character that really chases down a character like Teddy that's super airborne very well. And considering his like long range options as well as his like kind of placement of the items, even though Noelle does have a lot of invulnerability, a lot of those moves are way too active that she's just gonna get hit through them anyway. So gonna have to find ways to navigate through that. But we're gonna actually be starting with the Makoto.
Oh, interesting pick, alright. Avoids the Bear Screw round start, which is kind of notorious. Teddy has a very good round start with Bear Screw, but it's very fast. Actually defends very well this time. Getting something going, and pops the burst immediately. Very interesting.
Able to magnetize into that Teddy combo. Gonna be bursting straight out of the Noelle, just trying to push block, get their situations going. Nice jumps out to avoid any sandwich scenarios. Yeah, it looks like we're gonna be returning back to some neutral, but gets crossed up.
That Sparkle hit very hard. Luckily, was able to escape the combo. Maybe we can get something going here. Oh, but gets hit out of the sky. The Sparkle continuing the combo. And back to neutral. Very very cool maneuver.
Man, look, first time commentating is always gonna cause some hiccups here. It's okay. Go on.
All right, I was gonna say very cool that he actually managed to use Noelle's invul to go right through the missiles. Noelle has a lot of invul on her attacks, but they're not always the same kind of invul. She has head invul, projectile invul, foot invul sometimes. So you really have to have a good grasp of the character to know when to use what.
A little bit relaxed right there, but that Teddy, I don't know how exactly he's gonna die here, but he is going down, leaving them with the solo level 4 Resonance Tager. Definitely doable at this point, considering the life total doesn't have to do much. Trying to actually catch something there, but a nice 4B, not gonna be going for a full punish though.
Oh, that drop combo hurt. It is still solo Tager, so oh my gosh, clapped her head. That's that. Noelle is gone, out of the picture. But Tager is out of resonance, so Pat Nickel still has a strong chance of this.
Yeah, and a strong chance they will be utilizing here. Spends 1 bar of the EX. Probably not going to be able to kill this Tager just due to how sheerly chunky his health bar is, but that is going to put Envy in that one-touch scenario. But decides to go for a very risky play and goes for the grab against the grappler. The classic. No grappler's expecting you to actually grab him. And Pat Neko taking the second game.
That was a fearless move, and it worked out very well for him. Good job. I would have also gotten grabbed there. But I can't tech throws.
Moving on here to game 3. So a lot more adaptations of the kind of Noelle invul, and as Pokedude said, like definitely gotta be careful about how you navigate around a lot of Noelle's kind of invulnerability options. And I saw some really good implementations, just placing them in the right spots. So if they can continue doing some of that, then it's gonna be looking good.
Absolutely. Oh, sadly, I think Teddy's Bear Screw might be a sort of catch-all answer to it, because I believe it's head property, and she only has maybe one of those drive attacks that has head involved. Very nasty situation. Very good burst just to not have to deal with it anymore. Oh, gets hit by the Teddy combo.
Activating. Oh, I thought they were going to be activating some cross combo, but just get the curry, flat damage, some meter gain here. Just trying to grab in any way they can, and a nice not 4P, Spark Bolt active swap.
Well, to be fair, both those Tigers 6P and 4P are Spark Bolt.
Yeah.
Very weird clash. What the hell? Alright, getting a combo going. Ending with Super just to cash out, get a bit more damage on that Tiger, because you have to get through a lot of HP against him. Dropping all 4.
Yeah, I'm imagining that's just a swap out to Noelle here, and almost got a pay out. Almost got that hit on the Tiger, but going to be bursting out of the situation. If that's a stabilized combo, this should be a kill. Nah, yeah, wasn't able to go into the cross range. Unfortunately not, but the Bear Screw going to be hitting the Noelle and killing her.
Very ballsy DP here, just to get something going. Oh, but Tiger's DP also hits very high up. Gets a solid hit on the Teddy. Are we going to see a burst? Doesn't look like it.
Probably does. This is gonna be bursting him out and just mashing out. That's a dead squirrel.
She is down for the count. That is 2-1 in Mustache Villain's favor, I believe.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Right, but they're both showing pretty. I'm pretty sure Pat Nickel was showing some adaptations to Mustache Villain's team. You said earlier, there's very likely a chance there's some matchup knowledge, a lack of matchup knowledge here. Which, who can blame you? But I think I want to believe he's starting to learn. He's learning as he fights.
Yes, those mid-set adaptations definitely are as play. I mean, just compared to, even though they lost that third game, comparing it to the first, it's clear that they're becoming slowly more comfortable here, but nonetheless going to be getting hit low here. Almost that unfortunate happy birthday, but allowing Envy to start off with the momentum in this game. Going to be activating that cross combo too for that sandwich. Nice defense though, but can't block a throw.
That is sadly unblockable. Oh, drops the combo, so here's another chance at life. Invuls through the back. Standard situation, can he get anything going? No, he can't. Oh, eats the Bear Screw and gets the first blocked. Oh no.
Some unfortunate missteps here going on for Pat Knuckle, but there's still some signs of life. But that toy keeping up the pressure, Envy not letting up, able to get that conversion, dropping combos, but it doesn't matter because we got American resets.
Actually managed to 2B the burst, but couldn't continue the combo after. Noelle is fighting for her life here. Gets a solid combo. Blocks the DP. This could be huge.
This could be dead. Even has the full resources on deck. Noelle actually does a good chunk of damage. Makoto coming in, 5 bars on decks. Will they be able to stabilize this into a kill? We'll see.
This. Alrighty, chat room. It doesn't kill. Oh, it killed! Oh, I lost my points.
I can't believe it. But the full health Tiger going to be coming in. Their two characters are 2 get-bees away from losing the game, but hits the spark ball. Doesn't he have enough time to kill? Yes.
Oh, this is going to be an uphill battle. I don't think I've ever seen this matchup before.
Same.
Noelle versus Tiger. Oh, that's an interesting choice. Maybe he meant to jump cancel that and do it in the air.
Nah, I firmly believe he was trying to specifically beat ground drive, I won't lie. That seems like a Tiger player thing to do.
Oh, nailed by the spark bolt, but couldn't follow up. Back to neutral. Pat Neko has to chew through a good chunk of HP in order to get this win. Oh no.
Yeah, as long as there's a stabilization on the combo, they're looking a little unstable for what I was comfortable with, but nonetheless, a W is a W here as Mustache Villain will be taking the set 3-1, but with some definite resistance.
Absolutely no. The difference between games 1 and every game after was like night and day. Pat Neko definitely did a great job here at adapting to this very odd team that you definitely you can't play against this team the way you play against other teams. Just either one of those two characters forces you to play differently, but both, oh my gosh.
Yeah, just the level of awareness you need to have with like Teddy items being on the field and just generally cycling between or generally like understanding how they cycle between items, what's coming out next is super important. And when you combine that with such a spooky character when he's in front of you like Tager and having to cycle through that RPS situation on top of the items, it can be a lot to have to navigate around. And the fact that Pat Neko was able to get some footing in that matchup, wasn't super deterred by a lot of the items was throwing out, and in situations that they could have helped, were able to play the defensive game relatively well. It was a very cool sight to see, and it can't be understated how well they generally adapted to the situation. Unfortunately, we're moving on to losers, but not without a good showing.
Absolutely no. Hats off to both of them. Those were excellent games. Moving on, we have E2 Deku versus Renix. E2 Deku rocking their usual team from what I remember of Yang and Ruby. Renix with Kanji, Agna. That's an interesting team. I don't think I've seen it before.
Yeah, like on the surface, definitely one of those. Well, yeah. I mean, I know. Look, I don't have to acknowledge it right now. But like, Kanji Ragna is like one of those weird team comps that like only like one or two people are ever gonna pull up with. You know, Renix is I believe that this is their main team. It has some decently good stuff going for it. I'd say like due to the fact that Ragna is more self-sufficient compared to some other characters in the cast, like he's able to kind of shore up for a lot of Kanji's potential downfalls, and overall Kanji actually has a surprisingly strong assist kit. I don't think Kanji gets a lot from the table, but if the solo Ragna is forced to come out and play, it's not a too terrible team comp. But definitely something on the awkward end of synergy for sure. But
Oh dear.
yeah, that's a good old PC tag moment. But like yeah, like definitely a weird teams in terms of synergy, but it can work out. I've seen some funny stuff with Ragna and Kanji stuff.
Yeah, now that I think about it, I can kind of see it. Like, yeah, the synergy isn't like 100% there, but they both have like options that you cannot ignore. You know, Gauntlet Hades and Kanji's command grabs. You don't want to be blocking either of them. So I feel like this is a team that, if you play it correctly, can really chew through the opponent's meter simply through push block, because you do not want to have them in your face, because otherwise, you know, you're gonna get you're gonna you're gonna eat it. Um, just like the connection is eating it right now. Hmm.
Delicious. Ethernet cables being eaten. But
No,
yeah,
no.
I guess I'll acknowledge the elephant in the room with 9 Yumi. I mean, 9's best comp TM. It's 9 the Phantom. I'm sure it'll do fine. I'm just really disappointed that E2 Deku has decided to play it.
Well, gotta respect the player for, branching out and trying new things. It's 9, but even nonetheless, I wish him, success with his team, which I'm sure he will find. As we all know, it's a very strong team, as proven by other players.
Yeah.
Um,
Like, kind of on a real note, out of all the side teams for E2 Deku to play, I am incredibly surprised about this one, because 9 and Yumi are very like Well, Yumi is a bit of a gorilla character for sure, but Nine's like a little bit more of a space control-esque character, someone that like really likes to keep her distance, and of course she's by no means a non-aggressive character, but she's a little awkward to how you play her, and she's not super straightforward when it comes to the aggression part of things. If I know like anything about E2 Deku, like he is aggression central. He always wants to be in your face. He always wants to like kind of be in his good ranges. And like a character like Nine can do that, but it's definitely done in a way that's untraditional, in a way that like I would say like it doesn't really fit his play style. But I mean like it's Nine. How hard do you have to learn? Not really that hard. She's not really that hard.
Well, she certainly has some unique mechanics and combos, but if you can learn them, we all know how strong the payoff can be. We're starting off here, Renix getting some major damage on 9, that's already half her health gone, and also getting started on Yumi. Very good start, especially against this team, where you want every advantage you can get.
Gonna be going off with that command grab conversion. Unfortunately, dropped the combo, almost made it the DP there. But yeah, gonna be allowing this Yumi to play out for a little bit. This is kind of dangerous, I feel like, for whatever character has to be out right now for E2 Deku. But yeah, gonna be baiting that burst. This could be just death, straight up.
2 meter? Yeah, no, she's dead. Well, no, not
If
quite, but she's very close.
Yeah, if it was enhanced, it probably would have. Oh, just the bonk.
Oh man, almost got Yumi there, but is losing Kanji for dropping the combo. That's very unfortunate. Okay, yeah, I respect it. DP to close it out. Good job, Rodman.
Just like, you know, I understand the risk there. That could have been detrimental if the DP was blocked. But I mean, it's Yumi. They're gonna be pressing that 6-frame 5A. And as far as I know, like, Ragna does technically have an option to beat that with 4A. It's just comparatively risky because if they just crouch, you're not gonna exactly be having a fun time.
Yeah, I don't quite remember if Yumi's 2A is 6 frame or 7 frame, but it can create a sort of weird rock paper scissors situation where his 4A beats her 5A, but then her 2A beats his 4A. But if she does 2A, he can do a slower option or maybe escape. Anyway, back to the match. Once again, 9 is receiving a beating right off the bat.
Good. Oh, TRM with the grappler.
Wow.
That's something you don't see every day, but Kanji does have that little bit of a dash he does on the grab. Oh no, that is a pretty bad happy birth. Almost a happy birthday. I forget Yumi doesn't capture stage.
My gosh, what a... That was just a punish. Oh, and... Command grabs Yumi. Burst. 9's burst coming in, and actually hitting Ragna. Oh, is he dead for this? No, drops the combo. Very unfortunate. Running up, but can't punish, but baits the DP. This... Yep, closing it out. Keep it simple. Takes 9 out of the picture. Now it's just solo Yumi.
Yeah, I did a little of that JB kind of like frame kill setup there, so unfortunately got hit by the Yumi, but nothing too big. Oh yeah, I tried to mash on that, but just gets DP for the trouble. There's gonna be more DPs coming out. This is just like, they're just throwing out stuff. I'm gonna keep it real.
They have meter and they want to use it, damn it. I respect it. Renix is very much relying on super jumps for mobility, as well as using their special moves. Definitely using a lot of Kanji's aerial specials. Is this dead? No, it's not. But like Ragna's... Oh wow.
Yeah, that was some good recognition there. Realized they were too far for the DP and we're like, ah, the EX chair. I can punish this.
Yeah. Something that I'm noticing Renix is that Renix is abusing with his... Oh, I saw it. E30 switched, yup. Pulling out the good old Yang Ruby. Returning to my original idea, I've been noticing that Renix is abusing the fact that the camera goes way up when Kanji does his aerial jumps. Or his, like, command grab. And using that to hide his assist. E2 Deku has been has gotten hit by it a couple times already, actually.
Yeah, definitely a lot of assist hits going on. What did I say?
Ugh.
Like just everywhere here, and yeah, like it can be very disorienting with Kanji on the screen here. But we got Rognan has to do is try to go for the raw. Got like a barre grab. You know what? I respect it. There are options being pressed by both players, and they're interesting to say the least.
Definitely. You know, this is how this team is meant to be played. Ragnar and Kanji, of course, you gotta be swinging the whole time. What else are you gonna do? Oh my gosh.
That was actually kind of a smart reset. They're actually not going to be allowing Yang to burn at all. Run up, grab. Is that going through? No.
That would have been so cool. Renix definitely using Kanji's mobility to its utmost. Although sometimes getting punished for it, like right here, Kanji is going to be taken out of the picture. But Ragna is going to be coming in with level 4 resonance. Definitely a very strong resonance user.
For sure, going to be cashing that out. Just make sure to get that damage in. At that life total, probably going to be a one-touch situation here for Renix. Pops the resonance after the push block. Going to be getting some of that health back. Blocks the DP. This is probably fatal. Probably.
Definitely. If he just... Yep. Orange scissors. And Renix takes game... What game is this?
Game 3. That's the set.
Wow. Oh my, that went by faster than I thought it would. Damn. Good job to both players, especially that was a very strong performance. Shoutouts to Kanji Ragna, that team can cook.
Yeah, you know, like, I'm just saying some of the funny things you could do with Kanji on point. Maybe not as solid as some other team comps he has access to, but yeah, you know, we're saying during the match, like, utilizing the chair momentum and trying to this chair screen grab to like kind of block the assist. Like Ragnar is super strong, but they have a lot of good reward if you're able to connect them, and if you're kind of just leveraging, disorienting the opponent in order to make use of them. You know, it's a decent way to make use of maybe some of the more awkward assists that Ragnar has access to. So yeah, unfortunate for E2 Deku there. Needless to say, a lot of character unfamiliarity when it came to the 9 Yumi, but it looks like they coming back to the Ruby Yang, it was too much of a readjustment that they had to make, especially considering how different those comps are. But yeah, we'll be seeing them in losers, but we're going to be moving on to the next match here.
Definitely, those two teams are like night and day. Especially these two teams. Merkava Mika, definitely a very mobile, airborne team versus Blake Yang. Now, Blake herself is quite mobile as well, but Yang, I feel, is a bit more grounded, or at the very least, definitely not as mobile as the other 3 characters on the screen. Blake already has lost half her health. Wow.
Yeah, just trying to chase down this Merkava, make sure he doesn't get that airspace at all. Blake going to be taking quite a bit of damage, and a nice punish there on the Whiff 5B. Going to be allowing Merkava to get in this corner. What's going to be the Oki? Just some standard flight stuff.
Well, hey, the good old, if it works, why change it? Sadly, cannot get much going there. Weird clashes going on here. Oh, it's very hard to beat Mika in the air. She has the big button. Alright, give me something going here. Oh.
They converted off that. That would have been insane. We're gonna be killing off the Blake. Yang coming in with the Iron Bird. What you gonna do?
Oh no, that's punish. That's very punishable if you only hit the aerial hit. Is Mika going down? Oh, not quite. Gets a good DP in there just to escape that nasty situation. Oh.
That was actually a really smart DP there. Just avoiding the DP assist setup with their own DP, just using that info, really good on Fishlicker's part.
Definitely. It definitely helps that Yang's DP actually has some horizontal range. That would not have worked with certain other DPs. Oh my gosh. Is that
that could have just been the game.
That could have... Okay, yeah. Closes it out with a super. Great job, Chris. You did it. That was a very interesting match.
Yeah, to say the least, that motherfucker was swinging. Like, that's I mean, kind of expected when Mika and Yang are on point. They're definitely very much gorilla characters, but like besides like kind of the monkey gameplay, I was really liking the control that the Chris had with the Merkava, showing some pretty like good orientation with the Merkava flight dash and just utilizing it with Mika. Like Mika has a good assist kit, but like I don't necessarily imagine it being as palatable for Merkava in terms of angles. But you know, they seem to be well, you know, considering they made the team, probably they seem to know what they're doing.
One would hope so, and it certainly does seem that way. Recognizing how big Merkava's buttons can be and knowing what space to control is definitely very important for playing him, I would imagine. Oh no, very early block DP. Luckily, it's just Mika, and cuts the combo short, so not too much damage. Oh dear.
This could have been a potentially bad situation. Blake almost getting smacked by Merkava, but thankfully Yang able to save her life here. Gonna be trying to get something going here with this Yang, but activates that cross combo. What was that? I know that was a blue beat, but what a conversion.
That is crazy. Hashing out with the super just to get some damage on there. Alright, DP assist, very nice. Bursts to prevent more damage on Yang, but Blake is going to die for that. Oh no. This is looking dire.
I have no idea where this team is going, and that's seems like Fishlicker doesn't either, but you know what? Wake up JC, smack the Mika in the face, gonna be getting a nice chunk of damage for that.
Very simple and very easy. Oh, that could have been punished if she didn't go to the other side of the screen. Definitely abusing the fact that Mika just moves everywhere to escape being punished.
Able to somehow get the conversion off that EX Firecracker. Gonna be putting Mika in that one-touch area. Resonance will be running out, though. The 2C sweep?
Oh. You could have continued that combo. Merkava could have eaten a good chunk of damage for that, I think. I'm no Yang main, but...
What a conversion. Almost, that probably would have been the game-winning kill there, but gonna be... Unfortunately, not going to be able to push the DP. The Merkava coming in. The funny noodle man is doing some things. He's fishing for something.
Oh my gosh. And finally lands a hit to take the game. That's 2-0 for Chris, if I recall correctly. Chris is definitely creating and benefiting from a lot of these scramble situations. That just kind of happened naturally with these two characters. Merkava and Mika, with their huge mobility and their dives and sweeps and missiles, they can easily get in your face and cause chaos everywhere.
Yeah, it's like, I really like how Chris is leveraging their mobility options. Not never just to say like their flight dash or anything like that, to create like novel sandwich scenarios, or kind of doing like similar to what Renix was doing with the Kanji like air dive, is just like pushing the screen forward to like disorient the other player. It's been like I've been watching this and I'm confused about what's going on a lot of times.
It can be hard to keep up. Like, oh wow. Alright, actually managed to get Mika with the 2-4A, I believe. Interesting combos going on here. Oh no, that's a punish, yep.
Try to fish for that command grab super, but Fishlick are going to be getting some nice pressure, but not baiting the burst. That is not what you want to do when you see her burn, and going to be swapping over to the Blake and wake up 5C. You know what? I respect it.
Oh, that changed the flow of the game entirely. All of a sudden, Chris is on the back foot. Oh, but he got hit. Oh, what the? What? Okay. Yeah.
That was weird.
It was. If the DHC hit, Mika would have actually started a cutscene there, and Yang would have taken significantly less damage because she wouldn't have been hit by Merkava's super anymore. Oh, nails the burst with the 2B and actually gets a cheeky DP.
I think that might be the first time in my life I've seen DP on their residence. But you know what? It works out. They were able to get the command throw on the landing Blake. Definitely one of those things you gotta watch out for any character with command throws, because if your resonance in the air, you do leave yourself vulnerable to that. I don't believe it's a checkmate scenario per se, but it's really hard to like get out. And you have, I think it's the only option you have is DP. So yeah, a little bit of an unfortunate call there at the end, but regardless, Chris will be moving on to the next round.
Hmm. Thinking about it, I can kind of understand why he used resonance there, because he probably saw Blake was really low on HP. Probably didn't want to get hit by Mika running up and doing DP. So like maybe just pop resonance, recognizing that situation. Sadly, it didn't work out for him. Kind of left in a really bad spot, like you said. Um, Moving on, we have our next match. I believe is Sonic-kun versus a certain mustachioed villain, perhaps.
Yes, that seems to be what is coming up next here. But in the meantime, while we have some downtime, I would like to remind everyone in the chat about tonight's Matcherino pot. Please go to that Matcherino link that we have provided in the chat if you would like to make a direct contribution to tonight's bracket pot. All the money goes to the players here for tonight. So if you want to sweeten up the deal a little bit up for them, go click that yellow orange contribute button on the top right and put in as much money as you shall desire. Donations are completely optional, but if you are feeling so generous, that is available. We do read out donation messages. One unfortunate SOP in this VC will read out that message. So if you're interested in that as an avenue, that is available. But yeah, once again, please consider checking out the Matcherino if you are so inclined.
That's right. We greatly appreciate any generosity thrown our way. Just like how Mustache Villain has readied up, we should be starting very soon. I'm very excited to see this match because I do not remember the last time I've seen Sonic-kun and Mustache Villain play. And I know they're both players that frequent WNF quite a bit. So I'm quite excited for this match, actually. I can't wait to see what goes down.
Yeah, Hart versus Tager is a funny matchup. I'm pretty sure Tager loses it, but the magnetism combined with Fight Dash creates some ridiculous situations that, like, even though, like, Tager is not a character well suited to Hart, you know, some of those magnetism shenanigans can really mess with the general flow, the natural flow like a Hart player can kind of implement. So that is something they have to be aware of, and including the Teddy items and all the mixes, it can be a lot to have to deal with. But we'll see how Sonic-kun adapts.
Definitely. Starting off here, immediately going to the corner with just regular pressure, misses the throw. And Hart is one of the few characters that can actually meet Teddy in the air quite easily. Not much has been going on aside from assists taking a bit of getting tickled a bit. Oh, there we go. That's a big. This could be the start of something big.
Yeah, probably gonna start some pressure here in the corner. Gonna be playing it patiently so far. Persona pressure, keeping it all in. Bomb keeping Hart in the corner. This flight dash is quite annoying, but gonna be mostly avoiding all that here, wasting a lot of cross combo from MV side.
Whoa. S went flying. Okay, punishes the 5B, as you should. Starting a cross combo here, but ending it short. Never mind, there was no cross combo. I lied to you, I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, Sparkle just eating through all of these projectiles.
I believe this is a setup for an unblockable situation here, but actually opts to bait the super. Nice call here, but not able to quite beat out the S, but gonna be grabbing the Heart for their troubles.
That command grab active switch scared me. I did not see it coming. Hart has been able to avoid the curry thus far. Who's gonna eat it? Oh, I can't wait to see who eats it. I don't think anyone ate it. Yeah.
The guy off screen is gonna be eating it. That's his lunch.
Yeah. I hope he enjoys. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is.
That was interesting. I believe both those projectiles have the same level of priority, so they just cancel each other out. That's pretty rare to see for both of them. I can't believe we're in Rampage time.
Oh, we're in Rampage time. You're right. Yeah, I was right. This is a very funny match. Oh, he pressed the button.
Yeah, I was gonna make a comment like the general implication I think is way better for Sonic-kun here, just because S has a lot of meter dump options, but that S will no longer be available. Both level 4 resonance are in play, but the Curry has been eaten. What's it gonna be, a tick throw? This should be a kill.
He doesn't got the combo. No commentator's curse. Excellent. Manages to close it out with a solid combo. And I do want to mention one thing. Mustache Villain pulled off something very sneaky. He had the ice on the ground, and he jumped over S, so she was holding back to block. But then he air dashed over to the other side, so she started running towards the ice and got hit because she just ran straight into it. And I thought that was pretty smart, pretty good awareness from Mustache Villain.
Yeah, like, needless to say, nobody knows Teddy items more than Teddy players and how to best implement them, and just kind of how Envy plays. He really likes utilizing Teddy's mobility with like Bear Screw in order to like really catch you off guard with certain Teddy items, and it requires so much awareness about what's going on the screen right now. It's like always impressive to see. But we're starting out with a round start 5A, huh?
Oh dear. Oh, this is gonna hurt. This is gonna be a pretty penny in damage. Not gonna get a second super, but getting the cross rate even. That's impressive.
Is he gone? No, he's not
Not
gone.
quite. Huh? Oh
Right.
no. I'm sorry. I just a lot has been happening. Yeah.
Is that gone? I don't. It's close.
It's not quite. Yeah.
Yeah.
That just. Wow. Oh my. Okay, Mustache Villain is placing these DPs very well. Sadly, does not confirm the combo, but snatches Heart right out of the air. He's gonna be a good chunk of damage. Hopefully, even in the playing field a bit. But he's still gonna need to pull something out of his pocket if he wants to get this win.
They're pulling the get me out of the pocket, if anything. Not able to punish the projectiles here, and yeah, just gets peppered. It was a pretty valiant attempt to bring back a bad situation, but yeah, that's gonna tie up the set 1-1.
Indeed, it will. I like that Sonic-kun realized that his best answer, at least with S, to Tager doing air command grab is projectiles, because they will travel in front of S and interrupt the command grab before she can be magnetized into Tager's humongous hands.
Get ready.
So, very good recognition there, and I respect the attempts for Mustache Villain. Let's see what they do now, because surely there's some adaptation to be done here to get this dub.
I think the biggest thing there was definitely the happy birthday, and we're already avoiding that fate here, but the heart going to be coming in. Gets the counter hit JA, but not quite able to convert. This is a lot of neutral being played here for the type of teams being played. I gotta say.
That has got to be the most amounts of projectiles I've seen Heart throw out within like 5 seconds ever. Zoner Heart? Really?
Yes, it seems like Zoner Heart and Rushdown S here hits the command grab. This should be a completely imbursable kill here on the tag. You're leaving the solo Teddy. A lot of the explosiveness will be gone here, but gotta see if they can even get out of this situation. It doesn't look like it.
Oh, this is gonna hurt. Very precarious situation. No red health left to recover for Teddy. Gonna have to break out of here somehow. He's trying with all his might. Even his throat's getting attacked. Just the barrel plonking S on that head. Getting all those items out there, as many as he can. There he is out on the field.
Yeah, I like this idea. Teddy has some really awkward mobility, and just utilizing the projectiles just to like force him to come to you is really smart. Yeah, force him to do something like that, give you the space, and just go straight in. S is looking to sit there and kill.
Sit there and kill she did. Sonic takes the third game rather decisively. Not to say Mustache Veil didn't put up a fight, of course, but Sonic seemed almost kind of untouchable there. Just exercise a lot of patience when necessary in order to deal with Teddy's many items.
Get ready. Get ready.
Yes. Yeah, like that solo Teddy game is always so awkward. Like his damage output is really weird, and you have to leverage so many items in order to like make something happen. So we'll see how MV adapts here. That the first game they won definitely was hard fought, and Sony Kun has been making quite the adaptations here. But almost started off well, but just gonna be deeping straight out of the situation. But Fire's back.
Sure does. Oh, actually lands the throw this time, but can't follow up on the combo. EX Bear Screw to get in Sonic Kun's face. Escape from the corner.
Gonna be swapping over the ass. I can definitely imagine maybe they're a little bit more comfortable navigating this matchup here with better projectiles of their own. Tries to whip out something and actually was able to get the hit by both characters, but baited out something, but it wasn't a throw as they will be getting into this corner here. This is going to be quite dangerous.
Indeed it can. A weird popping cross combo, setting up the sandwich, and the Bear Screw immediately hits. Missile's not quite able to burst the punish. Punish the burst. Oh my god.
I
okay,
feel
Sonic
that.
is getting something. Yeah, man.
Looking like quite a game so far, but will be setting up that sandwich situation. Does not block the cross up. Tager will be in the low zone, but does not keep it all burst safe, allowing the Teddy to go straight in. Did not pay the DP at the right time, but yeah, that was awkward. I don't know what's going on.
I can only assume Teddy's 5BB hit S on the very last active frames, and that managed to cancel her projectile from coming out, even though it was already coming. It was already out. Taylor getting a good chunk of damage on S. Is this dead? This might be dead.
Yeah, I had to spend so much bar for that, but well worth it. Gonna be Iron back here in this set. Solo Heart, definitely one of the characters that can do it. A nice push block, but does not respect the 5B. A lot of bar being spent, but no kill, as Heart will be left in that one-touch zone. Curry available. This can be quite dangerous here for Sony Kun.
Especially now that the drums are out. Oh, sadly does not manage to confirm. The items keep on interrupting Sonic Kun. Oh, that is a nasty super. Killing Teddy and... Yep.
Hard Idol did it. The power of love.
It wins yet again.
Yeah, like...
I believe that was yes. Sonic Kun manages to win against Mustache Villain 3-1. Excellent job to both players. Those are some very fun fights to watch. It's kind of hard to keep up though.
Yeah, I mean, just with Heart flying around everywhere, Teddy items, Tager like doing his funny magnetism. It's a very chaotic game there, but if anything, I think that match was very much an exemplification of how I imagine that set was gonna go. Like even towards the end of the match, where it was the 2v1, you couldn't count anyone out because everyone had those crazy options just in their sleeve, ready to pull out. And Sony Kun, with some very hyper-aggressive, risky plays, will be winning those gambles and moving on to winners finals.
Indeed he will. And to meet him in winners finals, we're gonna have this next match between Merly T and Chris. Now, I have been told that Merly T is actually just a temporary name for someone that we know very well here. A certain Hyper Twist, perhaps?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
they go by so many names. I know them by Metatame. So I will be calling them my Metatame because I can't remember the new name of the week, to be perfectly honest.
That is very. Yeah, no, I respect it. I myself, I always get, uh, I always get confused by their new names. I just know they go by Minatami and Hyperfist. So let's use Minatami for this. Um, while we wait,
Mhm.
yeah, I wonder how, what teams does Minatami tend to use? Because my memory is, it needs to be jogged right now. You remember?
Metatame is definitely one of those. Um, I'm not gonna call random select character because they generally cycle through a lot of options. I know them well for Neo Hilda. Some usually some form of character. They like to pair a zoner with one of the more quick, hard to kind of like pin down characters like Neo, Seth. Those two in particularly, I remember. I don't exactly remember if they play Seth. Neo for sure. So they really like leveraging, let's say, like all of the projectiles that Hilda has to kind of create space control and utilize a lot of mix up like tricky options that those characters have, and generally play hyper aggressive in one instant and play very defensively from full screen in another with their general zoner lineup. So it's a pretty interesting play style overall, and it's something that has been quite effective to, of course, like with characters like Hilda's, is stupidly good assist, stupidly good point value as well. So she can be a great facilitator as well as great while enabled. So she, or Metatame definitely makes use of both facets of those teams very well.
I see. Because that makes me wonder then. Chris definitely has some of the most mobile characters in the game, as well as very good screen control with Merkava. Uh, it's going to be a very interesting match to watch because Mika, for example, she can very easily force her way in with EX Mika missiles through projectiles that Hilda may deploy. So definitely going to be a cool match to watch.
Yeah, for
Uh,
sure. Like, I think overall the Mika is going to be the greatest boon in there in this matchup. Naturally, I think Hilda is the general like sticking point for most teams, and what's mostly the problem. Not to downplay the Neo at all, but a lot of characters really struggle in comparison to Neo, like to deal with Hilda. And I think Merkava is like kind of one of those characters you can get in if he's given the space, but considering the fact that Hilda, well, naturally controls space so well as a zoner character, it might be hard for him to get the momentum. But having that access to the EX Mika missiles, they kind of just ignore what Hilda wants to do is going to require some on-the-fly adaptations here from Metatami. Not that Hilda doesn't have options, but it might be difficult to kind of swap between how you want to approach both characters, especially with the assist they have on deck.
Definitely. And something that Chris might have to keep in mind, assuming we see the Hilda from Minatame, is that not all of Hilda's attacks are actually projectiles. A lot of them are projectiles. But for example, her 5B is a projectile, but her 5A and the whole combo afterwards is not. Uh, so if Minatame catches on, if Chris is starting to abuse Mika Missile a bit too much, we might see some counterplay via using the non-projectile property attacks from Hilda just to try to catch Mika out of the air. Now, of course, that's very risky because, uh, as we as you might imagine, Hilda attacks can be quite laggy, and Mika with her speed could quite handily whiff punish her simply due to her speed and decent range on her some of her buttons. As for Merkava, he has range, but his attacks tend to extend his hurt box a lot, so I feel like that might hurt his chances, especially against a team that Minatame seems to be arriving with here, Hilda Yuzuriha. definitely both two characters that are excellent at controlling very large portions of the screen.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of Hilda comps, this is like one of the premier go-tos. I would surmise to say probably Yuzuriha's strongest comp. I know there is a Japanese player that likes this team and has done super well with it. Has great screen control navigation with Yuzu teleports alongside Hilda 4P to create sandwich scenarios constantly, left, rights, everywhere. Doesn't even, it's one of the teams that doesn't even really need CC in order to create left, right situations. Has amazing screen control based off the fact that both characters are zoners. And if I'm not mistaken, like, all that type of stuff that we were saying about Mika doesn't really apply to Yuzuriha because I believe all her slashes are physical property. So it's gonna be really awkward for the Mika to have to play, but gonna be swapping over to something interesting. Merkava Azrael.
Perhaps recognizing that Mika is not going to be very useful at all against Yuzuriha, and just foregoing the advantages against Hilda and bringing out Azrael. I have never seen Azrael Merkava. That's a new team to me. I have no clue how it's going to play out, but using the Azrael's teleports and Merkava's somewhat delayed assists, like his 6P, I could definitely see it being able to manage a good mix-up game, surprisingly. Let's see how it goes.
We'll have to see. I could, like, weirdly enough, I could see this team working. I just need to see it cook.
I just need to see it in action. Oh. That DP is so long and punishable. Drops out of the combo surprisingly enough, and Growlers preemptively just to catch any projectiles, but fails and gets punished.
Getting that Yuzuriha combo here. Put him in the corner. What the situation gonna be? Empty jump mid. My personal favorite mix. Pokedude can attest.
Oh, I get hit by that all the time.
Yeah, just gonna be DPing out of the situation once more, but not quite working out. The Azure. That was an option. That was an option of all time.
It's certainly a button you can press in that situation. She's really letting these DPs rip. At least one of them has worked out in his favor, thankfully, because Azrael and Merkava are both very low on HP. Manages to nail Hilda with the assist. And is retreating now. Sadly, it's kind of hard to retreat against these two characters. Oh my gosh.
That was a ridiculous combo that Chris did. We're gonna be just smacking them with the the Black Ops Stinger out of the situation. Hilda's almost dead.
Excellent awareness there to realize that the Merkava DHC is also going to hit Yuzuriha for some nice 2000 damage. He might be dead here. Not quite, manages to burst out just in time.
Yeah. I don't know if Merkava can't cross-raid out the scenario, but I'm a little surprised that it wasn't clipped there, but unfortunately just going to be getting clipped by that JB. There will be a conversion, and that should be a kill here with a cross-raid. Yeah, just barely, but nonetheless, Chris, kind of a surprising team comp, but like it was working. The damage was just like there. Needless to say, like Yuzu and Hilda aren't high damage character by any means, and while Merkava and Azrael might struggle, I mean, if you get those hit, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. The risk reward is definitely skewed in Chris's favor now that he's brought up Azrael. Now, granted, Yuzuriha can have some damaging combos, especially for using Hilda's 4P, which is excellent scaling, to my knowledge. It's just finding those hits that can be tough, but Chris has actually been calling out a lot of options using DPs and supers, and actually had a pretty decent success rate with them, which is how many times actually took so much damage. Let's see if he can keep doing that.
Alright, well, the Azrael is already below half health, surprisingly, but just try to dash straight out of the situation, get this Merkava straight in, but that will be allowing for a nice free sandwich.
Drops the combo and punishes, no, not even a punish, but just hits a 5C, cashes out, gets a 6.5k. That's half of Hilda's health gone, and that is probably no. It would have been Merkava dead, I think, because they have the resources for it. This is Merkava dead. That is a combo.
I don't see why you would do that. Like, waste
Is
5 meters for something you can easily get with DHC. But you know what? It's not my place to question Hilda players. Only judge them.
We're not here to question. We're here to judge. No, we're just here to commentate. Interesting ending with the 5C. I don't think I've ever seen that actually. Huge call out. The Blackhawk Stinger doesn't manage to connect as Hilda jumps away and actually manages to pick up the active switch combo. For the kill.
Yeah. Metatama is definitely filling himself with some of these combos here, but like, it's you know, can't be too complacent. You know what they say. I don't know what they say. I was trying to come up with something, but like, I don't know. Don't poke the freaking bear.
They do be saying that. It's true. Chris taking a moment here for maybe considering a character swap. And after seeing those games, I'm not saying that Azrael isn't working out. I just think that there are better options definitely against this team. Yeah, swapping to the Mika Merkava and locking in for the rest of this set, I believe. Surely this will provide him with some advantages compared to Azrael.
Yeah. Like, considering they like popped into the tournament with this team, I can only assume that is their main team and what they're most comfortable with. And like, yeah, I think overall, despite the fact that Mika might get hit out by Yuzuri Hilda, like her tools against Hilda might be invaluable.
That's only assuming you can actually get something going, and it looks like we've at least returned to neutral. Never mind. Hilda JB from downtown actually getting a hit. Sadly, the Yuzuri Haforti very well placed. Active and cross combo. Creating a full screen sandwich and actually manages to complete a combo.
Try to create a sandwich scenario. That is some ridiculous active full time. What the hell?
I'm surprised as you are.
Yeah, sets up the sandwich scenario, but just gets straight out of the situation. Gonna be popping a CC for themselves. Who's getting hit? I don't know.
Mika just barreling in with EX missile, managing to hit both somehow. Now we've gone back to quote-unquote neutral. Never mind. This could actually hurt a bit.
But not keeping it all burst safe here, but we'll be left with very little resources. Wakes up with the super, able to get the punish as well as that 3-bar on deck, and to be keeping it all simple. This entire set will be predicated on how well the solo Mika plays, though. But in a sandwich.
Interesting resonance spot. I don't think this is dead because they don't have the resources. Ends up with the 5C for the safe jump, but doesn't actually use it. Mika using her charge JB to try to force her way in, but just not working out. Using the super to finish it out. And that's 3-0? 3-0 for Manitame. Moving on to winners finals. Winners finals?
Yeah, winners finals.
Yes. Very strong showing from Manitame.
Yeah, most definitely. That first game was really close, all things considered. But I definitely want to say that Metatame was able to kind of adapt to the Merkava shenanigans. I think despite probably Azrael doing most of the damage in those matches, I think it was mostly predicated off the back of Merkava able to getting those clean hits in. Just yeah, I think Metatame was able to make those adaptations to kind of control Merkava's airspace and just generally make it super hard for him to get anything. Like, whether it's not like just avoiding it or just chipping or clipping Merkava, it was just some well-placed projectiles that I think ultimately allowed them to win that game.
Exactly. Yeah. Um, I mentioned it before the match, but Chris actually had a hard time creating those very chaotic situations, scramble situations that we saw in previous matches. Definitely due to many Tommy's superior screen control with his characters. Chris just had a he couldn't create those scenarios where he thrives, where he can really brawl it out. Uh, and honestly, to Minatomi's merit, uh, I don't think his characters are very good at brawling in scramble situations, so avoiding those is definitely the way to go in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, this is hopefully how Zoders are balanced. Of course, they have pretty bad close range game. Yeah, I mean that's what they got the projectiles for. They could just sit at full screen and just eat hot chip and lie about their characters.
They sure do love their hot chip. Um, Moving on, I believe we're moving down to losers bracket with this.
Yeah, I believe so.
Now that we have winners finals all set up and ready to go, we can move on to losers. Our first match here, I'll be honest. Um, I don't know who I Love Latinas is.
That's Yui.
Ah. I get it. Maybe they're a fan of Shadow. But you know, as a Latino myself, I guess I do as well.
I
Maybe.
look, Pokey dude. I'm glad you're here because you can say stuff like that. Because I want to say stuff like that, but I can't. But it is true. What is with like Latinos and Shadow the Hedgehog? Is there a reason here? Or is that just how it is?
All I know is that there's an edit from I believe is the Netflix show that they had where they just voiced over an existing scene and Sonic asks Shadow, "Where are you going?" And no, "Why do you want to go to Mexico?" And Shadow says, I love Latinas, Sonic." And then he teleports out.
Oh, that damn, that's crazy.
I don't know if that's where that's the origin. Maybe that was inspired by something else. Pizza the heck out of me. But yeah, now everyone loves Latinas apparently.
That's that is interesting. Perhaps we can delve into Yui's interest in Shadow the Hedgehog later, but they will be fighting the Pixel Traveler, a Teddy player. I mostly know him for like I think Teddy Elizabeth. I might be wrong about that, but you know we have two Teddys in this bracket, which is always interesting because Teddy. Or sorry.
No, I was gonna say that's two more Teddys than usual.
Yeah, that is true. And like the thing about Teddy is that he's one of those flexible characters that you can really decide to play him in whatever ways that you want. Either a more aggressive style with like utilizing bear spear with items, or a more zoning style that like utilizes a lot of screen space control with his bats and item as well. I mean the commonality here are the items, of course. That's the core part of the character. It's very interesting, and I think generally compared to MV, Pixel Traveler is definitely more on the space control type play style. Kind of exemplified by the Adachi partner.
I see. Yes, Adachi could definitely. I can definitely see Adachi enabling Teddy to just play however he wants with his very strong assists and active switch options. As you can see here, a fan of that Adachi 6P. But on Yumi's side, you know, we're on a 4P, high enough to rend the heavens. Definitely going to be a pain in Teddy's side.
And Going to be getting that happy birthday dough. Quite a bit of damage on this Chie. Going to be swapping over the Adachi and getting that optimized damage as well. Both of Yui's characters in the one-touch situation, but it can end just like that with the Chie. I don't think they're going to build enough meter, but this is still going to hurt quite a bit.
Definitely, that was almost 8k. Leaving Adachi with less than half health. Oh, and that super, unless there's a burst, yep, there it is, punishes the bursted fork. He doesn't actually follow up the combo. But now Kurogane's on the field for the very first time at this point, and he immediately DPs into a bomb. Excellent showing. Good awareness with the barrel. Known to jump over it.
Ooh, DP straight out of this situation. That's going to be a nice bit of damage here on this Teddy. Perhaps even dead with the God Fist? Oh no, drops a combo.
Not quite. And now Yui setting up another almost the same situation. Yui knowing when to push block to prevent the same situation, but getting punished for the DP regardless. Now it's up to Kurogane solo, and from experience, he can have a bit of trouble opening you up. Good awareness to jump the command grab. But still in a very precarious situation, even a 5C. This is dicey.
Yeah, DP's right out of the situation, but just gonna be getting with this. I can't believe he's not dead. What the hell?
That super does very little damage. Oh, little twinkle toes.
A little bit
That's
of
chaotic match. Wouldn't
yeah,
you say?
You can say that again. Yeah, I didn't get to comment on it, but like I mostly know Yui for like the Chie is like a constant, but I mostly know them for playing Chie Dachi. I believe that they're still the world record holder for fastest BB tag match in a tournament ever. If I'm not mistaken.
I mean, with the we're swapping. Well, I mean, with Chie, I'm not surprised, and now definitely perhaps a bit more synergistic partner for Chie. Yui definitely providing a lot of just general utility for Chie, and being having a strong presence as well. Not to say Kurogane doesn't.
I gotta comment on this real quick. Yui, is this the freaking toothpaste team colors? Like, look at this. Look at the toothpaste colors going on here.
No, you're right. It is. It's just toothpaste. White and red, and then Chie is like mint.
Man, sorry, this is unrelated. I just had a comment on that. Like, it's toothpaste.
Sometimes you just gotta get it out there. Faithful Traveler managed to hit the cross-up, but not able to confirm the combo. That is a DP.
Oh, it's an option, alright.
I mean, I recognize that Chie's DP can be an error, a movement option in the air sometimes, but it's a DP at the end of the day. Gotta be careful with it. Oh, that is Teddy dead.
Yeah, I'm welcome. Hey, welcome to your first instance of commentator's curse.
It was bound to happen eventually. Oh my gosh, no!
I don't think you can combo 5C to the barrel, but if you could, it'd be kind of funny.
It would have been so funny, man. It was perfectly aligned too.
She's dead.
Yumi. She just ate that bear screw. And died for it. Oh, Teddy actually taking hits. Oh, and he's down. Leaving Adachi with just a pixel. He ate the meatball. I hope it was a good meatball.
I mean, like, would you want to eat a toothpaste meatball?
Ew,
I don't think
no.
I would. No, like,
That sounds nasty. Yeah, no, I can't blame Adachi for keeling over after eating that.
I just took it straight to the face.
Ready.
Very, very unpleasant. I've been so focused on like these smaller interactions. The whole of these games has been very once again chaotic. Instant sandwich. Oh. I'm glad I didn't say anything because that means it wasn't commentator's curse.
It's true. Ooh, gonna be a
Owls.
nice conversion.
Take it to the corner. Alright, 5C or key, very interesting.
Is he just dead? I think he's just dead.
Yes.
I think he's just gone.
Say goodbye to your friend.
Oh my god, he's not.
Actually managed to scale the combo just enough to not kill him.
Yeah.
And then we have the infamous Adachi slurry of mids.
Yeah, and one overhead that will just be getting DP out of the situation. Nice empty jump low there for you. We're going to be setting up the sandwich. Not the sandwich, the blender.
Blender, indeed, I would not want to be in this situation, but manages to escape with a well-placed super jump. We're back to... almost back to neutral.
This entire match has been some slapstick comedy. Like, I don't, like, why did that side swap? I don't know, but, like, they're swinging.
They have not stopped swinging from the very first frame of this match. Yui takes the third game for 2-1. Match point, as you would say. It's hard to keep up with this, man.
I mean, like, look, both these players, what they're doing, they see a situation and be like, "I'ma press on it," and then like, "Oh, I didn't win. I'ma keep pressing. Oh, dang it!" And then like, and then eventually they go like, "I keep on winning." It just so happens that like Yui's team is they get the jackpot and then the jackpot is just winning.
Like, yeah, Pixel Traveler has to win the jackpot a couple of times, you know. Yui just wins once, and that's the entire jackpot. That is everything they got in there. Also, Pixel Traveler changing to Elizabeth Adachi, very curious choice, especially against this team. I do not know how Elizabeth fares against these two, but I cannot imagine it's too well.
But I mean, I run up Mangatsu Mandala side swap, that goes hard. Able to bait the burst too, that's crazy.
Okay, Elizabeth out of the gate actually starting to bug. It's the interesting situation. Oh, they're just gonna go for a cross combo. Interesting. Very curious. Manages, challenges the command grab and gets a handsomely rewarded for it. That's a dead Adachi. Right?
Double fist slam.
It's not often you see Chie just do God Fist, is that what it's called? Immediately, without doing power charge first.
It really does. Ooh, I think if they split the EX there, they might have been able to kill, but it doesn't matter. Keep it meter positive.
Yeah.
That was some just unnecessary pepperonis.
You know, after the fact, I came up with the idea that seeing Chie do God Fist without power charge is like brushing your teeth without toothpaste. You're the toothpaste team.
I don't know if I should hate that I pointed that out, but like I'm 95% sure they were going for like a mint toothpaste with those team colors.
Definitely. I think it worked. They won.
Yeah,
Congratulations to you for advancing in losers. Great job, Pixel Traveler, for making it this far. Our next match is looking to be Diddley versus Renix. I'm sorry, I got spooked by the name. So many very what's the word? Creative names tonight.
Yeah, Diddley rocking with Peasant Max ... I fear to God what the rest of that word says, but the are they still Rachel Speck in main court? I'm pretty sure they are.
probably is.
I don't know why they would change, but I mean, they're playing the Rachel Batista, I would say probably the single most successful competitive BB Tag Rachel team by far. Not their main team of the Rachel Ruby, but I mean like it's Rachel. Whoever you pair her with, she'll be fine.
Oh, well, assuming you can connect first.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no. Okay. Well, you know, minor hiccup. It'll be resolved in no time. Uh, you're right, actually. Rachel Batista is a very successful team, isn't it? I don't actually. I'm very bad at remembering like tournament results and stuff, but I definitely remember seeing this team on the big stage before.
It has won a major.
Okay, yeah, that explains it. I've played against this team before. Oh, that is some nasty pressure they can get going.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best team if you just want to play Rachel and you want to play her to like full capacity. I honestly, I generally say that this might be a hot take that the team enables Rachel too well to the point where it's like low key kind of overkill in what it can implement. But like, the fact of the matter is, you're blocking Rachel with the Batista 5P and the Batista assist. Like, you gotta block like 400 like unpush blockable overheads. It's ridiculous. Do you need to do 400 million overheads as Rachel? Not really, but like this team perfectly allows you to do something like that, and it can be absolutely the most miserable team comp experience you've ever had in your entire life.
I cannot imagine many things worse than being forced to block 450-50s, the majority of which are overheads. That sounds horrible. Reddit's, however, getting a solid start here right out of the gate. That is 2 command grabs landed already. Got Batista in the corner. Almost all of her health gone. Oh, she's dead.
I mean, like, Diddley being like, yeah, Solo Rachel is sick. Watch this. Well,
Jury's still out on that one.
it's okay. Rachel can cook eventually.
That's true. A rushed Rachel never cooks, but a delayed Rachel is forever cooked. I don't think it went like that. Oh my gosh.
You know,
Yeah.
I think in the business we call that well done. And, like every decision that Diddley made on the RPS just didn't work.
I don't think they let it into the kitchen in the first place.
Yeah.
Not allowed. A red circle with its face on it and a red line through it.
Yeah.
No, was not allowed in the kitchen. Renix put that sign up there. That kanji was on fire. I would assume that this next match will go differently because, you know, this Rachel Batista, they can definitely they get one hit, and I would assume they can get their whole game plan going very quickly, knowing their assists and their attacks.
Look, at some point in time, you will guess right on the kanji RPS corner.
You got a problem, I'll take you down too.
I love rock, paper, scissors. Alright, already off to our better. Biting my tongue just in case.
It's okay. They're Rachel Batista, they're zoning. They're doing the zoning thing.
They sure are. Batista 2B? Which one is the one that does 2 lows? Is it 2C or 2B? I think it's 2C.
It's 2C. It's 2C, yeah.
Okay, yeah. And 2B is the rotating. Right. That move was putting in worker in that cross combo earlier. That is a very funny combo.
Yeah. Right, gotta slowly approach this this character that can just down back and just throw out projectiles. What was that freaking like uni like fake article about Batista? Like how do you approach his zoner just down backing throwing out projectiles or something? That was that game.
How do you approach a girl who has a flash kick and a fireball while she's holding down back? Find out now.
Yeah,
Um,
that sounds about right.
Get
I would
ready.
not want to deal with that. And to think that Batista is, I think, from my experience, she's actually, no, she's way stronger in Uni. I don't know about Uni right now. I played like Uniclear and the one after that, this Celeste, I think, and Rachel was nuts. Thankfully, she's not like that here. Because, oh my gosh, that was obnoxious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take you
I don't know what's going on in Uni 2, but like
Look him in the eye.
Batista is the lead developer's favorite character, so it makes sense that she got hyper. But regardless, we're gonna be zoning here.
Turn on the zoning train. Choose
sure.
to. Oh, never mind. It crashed. It's on fire. It's all over the ground. Dear God, the zoning train is gone. No, never mind. It's back. We're so back.
Yeah, try to get something going there with the Ragna, but unfortunately couldn't quite get anything. Yeah, Diddley playing it right, just wants to let the beast away from her and just throw out a bunch of things that to prevent Renix from getting in. Not really committing to anything either, which I like too.
Just playing the classic Rachel game. George was deployed. Rachel is just flying everywhere. Doing what Rachel does best and filling the screen with a bunch of different things. Renix having a small chance there, but ultimately not amounted to much. George combo is a go.
It's gonna be like in the moments that Diddley has committed to a combo, it's been like a very distinct point in time where it's just like, yeah, full advantage. There's no risk of any like firing back here. So I really like how they're navigating it so far. And like in this situation, just try to stay far away from the kanji, well, until they went in, which is a commentator's curse. What can I say?
You know, Rachel stayed away until she approached Kanji at 100 miles per hour. Manages to avoid the command grab, which I think is kind of hard to do when you're in the air. The burst coming off from Renix successfully interrupting. That was an interesting movement option. Batista successfully making it to the other side of the screen.
Going to be a pop into Rampage side, which has very much greater implications here for Diddley. Going to be having access to a lot more of Rachel's EX projectiles, like EX projectiles for Batista's side too. Not quite enough meter to DAC, so that, yeah, it won't be quite a kill just yet. Yeah.
I respect the attempt. I'm pretty sure Renix was... Actually, no. If it was me, I would have been fiending for a Blood Sight, and I would have gotten hit all that time too. Sadly, did not work out. Kanji solo. Oh no, getting hit by a combo. This is not a great situation to be in. Whiffs the command grab.
Yeah. Yeah, does not want to get close to this kanji at all. Oh my god, just landed and went for the super command grab. Are they close to the corner to get a full conversion off it? I didn't decide to run up. Weird enough.
I think they were too close. Like the specific distance you have to be at is.
Oh my
weird.
god!
Oh my gosh, that's any kill off of this? No.
They're trying to go for a reset.
Yeah. Oh, it's so hard to contest that super. Like, even if you block it, the timing for punishing it is very... It's something you want to lap out, almost.
I have been told that for whatever reason, Air Resonance version of that super is in fact +3.
Dear God.
I don't know why it's +3. But yeah, I mean, it just contribute to what to say. It's a very hard super to contest. You have to be cognizant of the options you can't do against it. Like, a lot of DPs will fail because even if Rachel gets hit, the lightning will still stay out, so you can kind of get slapped in some of those scenarios. So approaching it is really difficult because for a good amount of characters, you can't card cancel in those situations, or else you still get hit. So it's one of those things that you do genuinely have to hard call out without being without having that leeway to like card cancel something.
It's definitely a sort of knowledge check, even. I wonder how Renix is going to start to deal with WoW. Kanji DP is very. It's kind of cool, actually. If they just make contact with you, it doesn't matter how far they are, they get hit. Anyway, Rachel, doing Rachel things. George has been deployed. Oh, immediate DP to get her off. And it worked out.
Yeah, we're just gonna be DPing here, like Korean backdashing, just like to keep it cool. And yeah, the third time's the charge with the block DP. Rachel's gonna be getting probably to the corner here at the very least. Actually, so Batista gonna be letting her heal all that health at the back. Oh, you know what? Communication.
BBTAG player to BBTAG player communications. Tries to jump over. Oh, that Rachel 4P is very hard to deal with, but this combo could actually get something started. Baits out the super, but this is actually not a great situation to be in. Oh, kept it short.
Oh my god, was able to actually hit the counter hit and had enough time to still go for the grab. That was a pretty nasty sandwich scenario, but a good block from Diddley's side. Gonna be saving the Rachel, which could be pivotal, but goes straight into the anti-air command grab.
Yoinked right out of the sky. Insane to end a combo. Gets hit by the super and gives up Batista, so for solo Rachel, definitely the right choice in the situation. Because as we all know, Resonance Rachel is something to be feared. Not if she gets command grab, although with no resources on deck, can't really do much with that.
Yeah, just gonna be going for the Tempest Dahlias for quite a bit of chip damage. Able to get the overhead, but loses the kill, but gets it right back here. Gonna be popping the Resonance once again. Yeah, just gonna be trying to meter up, get Renix into the little bit of an uncomfortable position, force him to do something. I don't think that's what he wanted.
I don't think so. He's going to be eating a good bit of damage for this. Astral is on deck, but he won't be able to use it. He got hit. Is this going to kill? I would say keep it simple, but I don't know how simple Rachel combos can get. Regardless, that was the final match of the set. Diddley advancing in the bracket to losers' quarters. Oh, what a interesting set.
Yeah. Kind of despite the on the surface really bad matchup for Renix, they're making some good strides in terms of like kind of navigating around the Rachel. I think like of course like the damage differential is there, so a lot of it was taking risks in the right place in order to kind of get any chunk of damage that they possibly can. And like there wasn't really a lot of like corner like kanji like command grab RPS situations in that match. It really was just a lot of neutral callouts and a lot of punishes for stuff like DPs or like whiff projectiles that was building up the bulk of the damage. That, you know, even though like it's only stray hits here or there, like if it's just an entire match where stray hits are happening, like Kanji Ragna definitely is going to come out on top. And while they ultimately didn't end up winning the set, they got very close to just having that type of mentality of like they didn't feel the need to like prioritize having like Oki situations, but like they definitely had the presence of mind like, hey, you know, I can win the damage rates eventually.
Definitely, and they definitely could have, but Diddley did manage to realize that, hey, if I back off and use the zoning tools I have at my disposal, there's precious little that they can do. Even Kanji's unique air mobility with his air command grab and air chair slam, they get affected by wind too. Now granted, Renix was able to use them to very good effect sometimes, creating instant sandwiches to try to open Diddley up. But in the end, Diddley just it's Rachel that, you know. It's once they get going, it's a very hard train to stop.
Yeah, it's like the momentum. It's a little weird how the team works because it's not quite a train coming at you because it's a slow, painful death, but like nonetheless, like yeah, it's so ridiculous to get out of something like that. It's possible, but like winning the lottery is also possible. So like you know how it is.
Yeah, yeah, no, getting those call outs versus that team can definitely be fruitful, but finding them can be very hard. Rachel's mobility and Batista's just relative safety, very hard to find a jackpot in there. Of course, as we saw in the very first match of that set, if the train never gets anywhere, it's not that hard to deal with. But moving on, our next match is Yui once again versus Chris. Yui once again back on the Chie Kurogane. As a Kurogane player myself, I'm excited to see Kurogane, but then I realize he's just an assist spot for Chie.
Yeah, I mean, look, Chie has some pretty good assists overall. I don't necessarily think or know that it's like what Kurogane exactly wants, but like overall, you could have far worse assist kit, and Kurogane is a character that, at least when he gets up close to you, is decently like self-sufficient when it comes to pressure. Maybe not necessarily like the mixed game, but he has really good strike though. He has really good frame traps. So like even without an assist kit that is well suited to him, he can structure his pressure in a way that can be still very threatening. But like yeah, I think the biggest thing though, Kurogane 4P is just gonna swap both of Chris's character out of the side, so that's gonna be a huge dictator of this matchup, I feel.
Absolutely, especially considering Chie already has a decent air button, especially with JC, which can control a good chunk of the space and create an effective wall against Merkawa and Mika, who very much rely on physically advancing towards the opponent with their hurt box left wide open. We're playing some actual neutral here. Well, there's sandwich right now. Oh, dear.
Yeah, unfortunately dropping the comment those Kurogane aren't like the easiest, so unfortunate drop there. Kurogane is actually decently low here, but the 4P going to get a little bit of a conversion and the overhead hit. Pretty sure, I think Mika is 18k, so like I don't think that, yeah, not even gonna bother to go for the kill. With the empty jump low into the 5C, are they able to get the kill? No, not quite.
Oh, that's... eats the meaty 4P regardless. Activates Resonance to escape the sandwich. Excellent super to really pile on the damage to both. Divine Masher coming out twice. If it doesn't work once, do it twice. And DP to deal with Phantom Pain, which is honestly quite cheeky though.
Building up a decent amount of chip, almost goes for the TRM call. Chie will be put into that one-touch zone, but gotta be careful. Flies straight into the meatballs though. Can they get a conversion? No.
Almost, but they managed to pick up right after for the kill. Oh my gosh, that match went by in a flash. It, like, I don't know how fast it actually went by, but I feel like it just started like a second ago. That was action-packed.
I definitely feel that too. Like, Merkava and Mika aren't low damage characters by any means, but they're also not hyper fast either. I think a part of it was like Kurogane got beat up so much at the start of the match that he was just kind of on the back foot for most of it, and there's a lot of persona breaks going on too to kind of like chip away at Chie's health. So it was deceptively fast because of those factors.
Yep, I agree completely. Now, thinking about it, actually, the damage difference between these two teams, Merkava and Mika aren't exactly known for their damage. while Kurogane and Chi are definitely this no comment, no comment. Continuing, that's a very well placed DP. Sad, oddly not going for the Oki. As some might know, Kurogane actually has very good Oki off of his DP. But regardless, back to full screen. Okay.
Yeah, that fight's actually been really hard for you to have to deal with it. To be fair, it's really awkward. It comes out so deceptively fast, and the flight is something you have to get used to, the fact that that's a hitbox too, but active with the cross combo, not super effective, but regardless, Yui is in quite a distinct advantage state, and maybe not anymore.
I'm surprised that DP caught both of them. Actually manages to pick up off of the fireballs. They have quite a lot of hit stun. Fails the command grab Anderson, sadly. And that DP.
Yeah, there's definitely some Kurogane like combo unfamiliarity there.
DP, yes. Sniped out of the sky with 4P, as you'd expect. Goes right in with EX Mega Missile and manages to take down the Chie. Solo Kurogane out against two low characters.
Okay, yeah, wasn't able to get the kill off the DP, but will able to get the conversion afterwards. Merkava is in the one-touch zone, supers, DPs, like none of them will be hitting. Divine Masher, and is that ready to get the? This is Kurogane gameplay.
Oh,
This is Kurogane gameplay. Jesus Christ.
that was the best Kurogane gameplay I've seen today.
I think it's the only Kurogane gameplay we've seen today.
That's true.
Oh god, dude, what is going on? Okay.
Oh yeah, like I get what Yui is going for. It is very tempting to use Phantom Pain as an anti-air against Merkava, who spends so much time in the air. But Phantom Pain is, you have to be very precise with your positioning, and Merkava can move around a good bit in the air. So actually sniping him out takes a lot of precision. And it's also very susceptible to, crouching and not being in the air. So good awareness on Chris to just recognize that Yui is going for Phantom Pain and just, ripping out, letting the lows rip. Because that'll just always work. Oh, Yui changing to Chie Batista. That sounds annoying.
Yeah, like definitely I feel like a lesser version overall of just Chie Yumi, but I definitely see some of the merits with this team. I still think they want to maintain that big anti-air space control assist, but playing a character that is they don't necessarily have to be like super familiar with Batista, but like Chie is kind of like the main girl, and having her be as nimble as possible might give them the edge out in this set.
Absolutely. And yes, Batista's relative simplicity compared to Kurogane might allow the moments where Batista is out on the field to be more fruitful compared to Kurogane. Chie doing regular Chie stuff and actually baiting on a DP. Gonna get some good damage here, bringing Mika to the corner. Very hard to stop, honestly.
I mean, we're already seeing the complete difference in comfort here when it comes to that Chie, Oki, all this being kind of enabled, keeping it all DP safe, but unfortunately failed at the end. No DP confirmed, but there's probably going to be a swap out. Yeah. Oh, that could be huge here. Did not hold down the partner button to keep Mika safe.
Not grab Batista, gets hit by that cross-up laser. This could lead up to a... Never mind. It is going to lead up to a kill, actually, because they can reach. I forgot about that.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, this team gets a pretty good not fire boost, power charge combo just with 5P, but we didn't need to see it there.
I forgot for a second that DHC existed because I was so focused on the power charge. I could not play Chie. I would not have the presence of mind to just not power charge every time. I love the big number. Oof. Moving on to this next match, though. Yui might have to Hang on, what game is this of the set? Is it game 4?
Game for you.
Oh, so Yui is on the back foot.
Can't forget the
Yeah. I definitely think that's part of the reason that they decided to swap the team. Rakava Azra going to be coming out, going to be adding a lot of explosiveness here, but like, let's see if they can get through this shield.
Well, off to a great start. Punishing the burst very handily. And getting that nasty corner pressure going, but you can't really push block another DP. Drops the punish though.
We're going to be putting Chris into a sandwich scenario, but just jumps straight out of the situation. Not able to quite dodge the meatballs either, but will be getting a safe burst out for this Azrael. But like, yeah, so far this is definitely not looking so hot.
Back to the other corner. Oh, but Merkaba manages to escape. Can't quite punish that DP because for some reason it has 0 landing lag. It might have a little bit, but it's minimal. Lock super is gonna hurt.
Yeah. Ooh. Nice counter hit. Gustav there going to be getting a nice chunk too.
Tried to get to the pressure block, got pushed blocked and got set right into a sandwich situation. That is Azrael down. Solo Merkava could pull it off.
Ooh, that cannot be what they want.
I'm surprised it didn't cancel into a super, because that could have been a pretty penny in terms of damage. Yep.
Yeah.
We're watching Under Night. I would assume this is what the matchup goes. This is how it goes in actual Under Night. That looked rough. Yuri actually managing to even up the playing field. Next one takes it.
Yeah, like the age-long question of how do you defeat how do you approach a girl down back and from full screen that has a flash kick and projectiles. I don't know how Kama deal with that. I'm gonna keep it real. Like, Batista has good coverage with her B laser, the one that goes diagonally up against Merkava's airspace, and we're just seeing Yui playing very patiently, just like, yeah, sit there, like, go ahead and fly. Like, she has plenty of time to react to that flight and just react with the laser accordingly. So, okay, I'm gonna be swapping over to the hide.
Interesting. Oh, Spider Merkava is here. Hyde Merkava is not a team I'm familiar with. And compared to Azrael, Hyde, well, he definitely has more traditional mobility. He also has a better presence in neutral, a very good fireball with anti-projectile properties that could help. But so far, we've not seen very much of that advantage using the pogos to actually jump right over the meatballs. That's very interesting.
Yeah. No, you can't, like, hit GAJC. That move is stupid.
GAJC could be a character by itself.
But yeah, both characters on both sides are a little uncomfortable. I think, yeah, Chris definitely having the worst end of the deal here. Sets up the sandwich scenario, but just tries to get out of it. Wants to make sure they get out of this sandwich situation, and yeah, we'll be getting it, but we'll be taking quite a bit of... Oh, that's gone. They're doomed. It's doomed. It's gone.
That was very unfortunate. Mistiming the DP such that it whiffs Chi entirely. And not only that, but she just naturally continues the combo hitting Hyde. Very unfortunate. That means Yui is moving on. Great job, both of you. Those are great matches. Very enjoyable to watch.
Yeah,
We are now.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna comment, like, the Batista pick obviously being so much better compared to the Kuragane. I think, needless to say, just judging off the gameplay, like, Yui was incredibly uncomfortable with the Kuragane. Like, Kuragane provides pretty good support value, but playing him on point was a little bit too much of a hurdle to handle, and just, like, yeah, playing into your strength is ultimately the lesson of that set there.
Absolutely. I could tell the Kuragane was not quite matured, not quite practiced. Could use, a bit of refining. It's definitely a good team. Kuragane 4P, of course, providing the value that it always does. And Kuragane himself being a very good character in the right hands. But ultimately, I do believe that what Yui needed for Chie was not Kuragane's assists. We definitely saw a lot more value being gotten from Batista's 5P, which is one of the prime lockdown assists in the game. Something that Kuragane has a hard time offering. His 5P and 6, all of his assists are single hit. So lockdown is not something he's very good at offering.
Most definitely, but looks like Diddley's playing something I've never seen them play before. Lene Hyde.
Practice for the ratio tournament?
I guess
Question
so.
mark.
I mean, we didn't ban Rachel. They can still play Rachel +1, but I guess they want to play a bit more of a team that makes sense. That being said, this is only a 6-point value team. They could add one more if they really wanted to.
That would certainly be a first in BBTAG. It's 3 versus 2. That sounds funny. I want to see that. But right out of the gate, Mustache Villain showing some very dominating presence until he was put into a sandwich and immediately cashing out and taken to the corner by Diddley. Let them mix the game.
I don't know about mix with Hyde.
Let the chip damage begin.
It's true. But yeah, just gonna be swapping into the Tager. Yeah, I just wanted to use that EX Ben Sinister in order to just get through the barrel. This is quite the neutral being played here, but like, despite me never seeing Diddley on the Steve, they seem relatively comfortable with it, but will be still getting hit here by this Tager, and surprisingly didn't get the curry.
They had the presence of mind to realize that they should tech forward in order to avoid eating the curry. This is a very awkward situation, yep. Actually manages to burst out. That's impressive. Oh wow, and he reacts to the command grab super. Keeping Lene healthy for just a while longer. Maybe until the end of the game. We shall see.
Gets hit by that sandwich setup though, unfortunately. But not going to be hit by the toll. Try to match into the situation, but a bat just there to check them, and the unfortunately dropping the combo.
That is not... Oh, what the...
So, like, some characters, they would have fallen out in that situation, but Tager is actually too big to do that. I was a little worried there for Diddley's sake.
That's crazy. Sure is some neutral that Hyde is forcing Mustache Villain to play. Making good use of those projectiles. Sadly, Tager has the superior projectile, although it costs 1 meter. Taking Hyde out of the picture. Just up to Lene, but they're both at 1 hit.
Yeah, just gonna be putting the... Teddy smacks away that Lene does not even need to pop the resonance. And yeah, that is a pretty close game 1, to say the least.
That was down to the wire. Yeah. I'm sorry, I still have the sound of Teddy's bat hitting Lene and just making that sweet crack in my mind. That is the only thing that occupied my mind for the rest of that final sequence.
I feel that. It makes such a distinct sound. It sounds like he's batting, like, inside of your head.
Yes, exactly. It's very satisfying. Honestly, there was a lot to be gleaned from that match. I just wonder where they're gonna take this now, because that was so close that it's anyone's game, of course.
gonna be setting up another sandwich. Got hit, so I don't think they can activate the cross combo there, unfortunately. Setting up a sandwich to their own, but an awkward hit. Not gonna be a full conversion, but that 5P finally gonna make something happen.
Getting a nice happy birthday. Teddy drops out at the last second though because the projectile didn't hit him. Still gonna get hit by the 2C, drops the combo, but still picks up Teddy with the assist.
It's not an American reset. This is like the entire ass like American like breakfast continental special reset here.
Delicious.
Just walk up slowly and command throw. Why not? Okay. Wasn't gonna work.
To go through it again. Oh, it has those combos. Managed to get the delay. I forget what it's called. But this is definitely. Oh, he's just walking up. Oh no, he can't walk it anymore. He has to respect when his 2C tries to command grab, but she's already in the air. This is just rough. Oh wow, never mind.
Gonna be making some progress here, but the Tager blender is real. No burst, surprisingly. She's gone.
I feel like you'd rather have both. Or at least, well, I suppose Hide is a better solo option. Since you have the projectile involved. So I can sort of understand. And also, I believe this Tager is dead.
Yeah.
Indeed he is.
A little bit of a path of resistance there for sure, but you know, it doesn't matter. They won.
It definitely won. Showing that Hyde can cook against Tager. Oh, I'm so sorry. Game 3 time. I believe it's 1-1. Yes,
Yeah.
so it is. So there's still plenty to be seen from both of these in this set.
Alright, here. There's definitely been a slobber knocker of just how these games have been playing. I mean, like, look, they try to mash from full screen against Teddy. Like, they definitely swing it for the fences here, but Mustache Villain is getting a distinct advantage. Unfortunately, runs into the bat, though.
Unfortunate drop, but thankfully does not get punished for it. It didn't manage to pick up on the Sparkle assist, but hits the bat anyways. It punishes the burst. Mustache Villain on a roll right off the bat. Did it.
Yeah, just Hyde bursting out though, not enjoying the bear and bat puns being thrown out here.
Doing a great job of ignoring those and just cashing out immediately. Hopefully he doesn't get hit by that bomb. Picks up the, I believe that was the extra meter.
Is that dead? Oh no, well, it kept it all burst save.
Yeah, the barrel punishing the burst right on the ice. I'm pretty sure that's just part of the combo. Eats the curry, and is this? No, that's just that was a reset.
Yeah, Diddley being very cognizant of that situation and just busting out. However, in a lot more uncomfortable position compared to the last time. Has so much less health compared to the last game too, so only one mistake will be spelling either character's doom. Sweep the leg. You know, you gotta be careful of that.
Yep. Tager nailing Hyde with almost a point-blank Sparkle, taking it out of the picture. Whiffs the command grab because of a just mistimed it. Sadly drops the Lene combo and pops resonance.
Yeah. It would be awkward here, but yeah, just goes in, sweep the leg, but drop the combo, hits the air backdash, but spent so much meter on Sparkbolt. Not going to be getting a kill, but this is a guess for game situation, and guess right, sweeps the leg, has the meter on deck, but I don't think this is a kill.
Not quite, but definitely leaving him at one hit away from death, trying to sweep the legs again. Yep. Met the sweep with a Sparkbolt to the face, and that proved very effective. Mustache Villain taking the third game. I believe it is now match point for Mustache Villain.
Yes. Once again, these have been very close games built off just absolute like insane scramble situations. That being said, we got to see a lot more of that Teddy Tager classic gameplay that we can expect from Envy. A lot more of his setups were coming out and very relevant. Unfortunately, he lost the Teddy off one of them, but just having those super scary implementations, it really puts the fear of God in your opponent there.
Oh, definitely. I would be very scared right now if I were facing him because they require such they require you to be so cognizant of what's going on and what can happen, which can be so hard against this team that's so unorthodox. Mustache Villain off to a great start, Leno already lost half HP, but manages to switch off of Teddy the last second so that Tager can make the big hits with his 20k HP.
It's the overhead, but not quite able to convert off it. Ooh, but an EX base Sinister gonna lead into that happy birthday.
Oh, not quite enough, but manages to keep sight, hide safe. I swear I can speak English. Could be B to just punish both. Oh, that is a nasty happy birthday. I believe Lene could have died for this if she didn't drop out.
Yeah, I believe this is a safe jump. No, actually, it was not. I don't know if they pressed something on the floor there, but that Tager will be losing the life. Once again, in a decently comfortable 2v1 situation when it comes to those life totals, but you gotta be defeating the man of mids here with the hide.
Definitely awkward to block hide when you're solo. Since all of that chip can really add up when after Resonance is gone, you can't heal it off anymore. Teddy, however, much better at solo than Tager, I would assume. I would hope.
Yeah, just trying to get out. That was nasty. That was nasty.
Oh, I got it. I got it. Oh, Diddley, evening it up. We're going to game 5 on this one.
Yeah, it's just like it's kind of interesting how like MV has been like losing one character and like I feel like he's always in the 2v1 first, but like overall, you know, it's been generally 50-50 on whether or not he comes out on top. But like regardless, when he gets to that point, the health total gap has been getting closer and closer to you know, more favorable situations. It's still that they unfortunately have to play that 2v1 game in the first place. So maybe if they can get the kill first, that might just be the thing that they need.
I think that would make a world of difference. Considering I think all of these matches have ended in the exact same scenario. It's just at the very end, the winner is decided by almost a coin flip.
I didn't know what side that was on.
I don't know either. No side really has an advantage so far. No real big hits have happened yet. But Mustache Villain putting on the pressure, creating a standard situation that opens up Diddley with many side swaps. Oh my gosh, hide in the red. It's looking dire. Never mind.
Yeah, wants to burst out with the DHC. Actually, quite a bit of damage. Hide got hit by the bomb, actually. That could have been kind of bad. Wake up, freaking... I don't know what that was on. 2-1-4-8, okay. I don't know what's been going on in this match.
It's been a flash. Oh my god, okay. That is one way to punish an assist, yes. It has happened. The roles have been reversed. Mustache Villain is now has both of his characters. One of his characters. Why did I open my fat mouth?
Oh my god. Yeah, oh. I'm not super like
I don't know how this match plays out. They're both pretty mobile characters. Oh.
Does that kill? It doesn't kill?
No, it doesn't kill. Oh, Lene. Oh, what? It's the toes. What a back and forth match between these two. But Diddley manages to win in the end. winning 3-2 versus Mustache Villain, advancing to loser semis. Congratulations, and extremely well played to both. That was very fun to watch. I had a great time watching that.
Yes. And that will iron out our top 4 here for tonight. Looking like we will be going on to the winner side of the bracket, but we have neglected to do some duties. But you know, Dude, I warned you about it. It's your time for the Maturino shield. Take it away.
I've been thrown into the depths. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. This tournament, there is a Maturino that you can donate to. If you are feeling so inclined, all of the proceeds from your generous donation go to paying out our players at the end of this tournament. Any amount is appreciated, and of course, you can donate however much you want. It is completely optional, and we appreciate every single cent of it. Am I missing a part?
I mean, without like anything else really to show, yeah, like that's
I know.
that's pretty much it. Just
There
the
is
Just
one detail.
want to interject. We do have some contributions in the Maturino. We're at a total of $25. I will read out the ones that have been done. One from our very own streamer E30 for $5 with the comment, "This was gonna go towards my Uma Whaling Fund. You're welcome." $10 from me with the comment, "Uma Global in 2 months." Gra, yeah. And $10 from our very own Dark Slayer. Shout outs to you. Hope you're doing well, buddy. With the comment, "Though your oomfies only rarely cook in kind, which is sus, is it not? Are the goats otherwise tweaking?" Thank you very much, Dark Slayer.
The answer is only on a Thursday, specifically at 2:51 p.m.
Thank you very much for the brain rot. We highly appreciate all of your contributions. And that is exactly what I forgot to say, now that I realize. If you donate, you can make any of us say whatever you want. You know, entertainment at your fingertips.
Within reason, so long as it doesn't get us canceled.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, like, if the donation is something cancelable, unfortunately, I think I'm first in line to get shot. So, like, I'll say it.
No.
If you want to hear me specifically say something really unhinged, I guess like that's what it is. I gotta take one for the team.
Well, hopefully you don't have to take them for the team anytime soon, because we have our next match lined up. Sonic-kun versus Menetame in winners finals. These two have played very well thus far. And it looks like Sonic-kun, of course, sticking with the usual part S. Menetame taking a hint from Diddley? Hide Lene?
I guess so. I mean, not without. God damn it!
Oh my god!
We gotta shoot him.
Yummers.
We gotta shoot him. We gotta shoot them. I swear to God, we gotta shoot them.
We got the toothpaste meatball. Ew.
Ugh. That sounds. Ugh. I don't want to imagine it. That sounds nasty. Oh, they got the.
You know what? At least they didn't pick toothpaste colors.
We
You
appreciate.
know you're giving them ideas, right?
I know, but it'd be kind of funny. I don't want them to do it, but it'd be kind of funny.
It'd be great content. It's true.
I mean, if they can find toothpaste colors with this team, that's their prerogative.
It is indeed out of our power to prevent them from doing that. Moving on with this match, it's been a lot of heart flying over projectiles so far. No real big hits have happened yet. Well, You know what they said. Commentators first.
Oh, that was a reset, so that's just gonna kill straight
Oh,
up.
oh my gosh. I did not even realize the reset. That's crazy. Solo Hyde has a very high, very tall and steep hill to climb here, especially taking all this damage. If they had cross meter, they would have been able to actually kill there. Luckily, Minitami still has a chance at life. Still hasn't procced activated resonance. Living on a prayer here without it.
I mean, zoning hard. A little bit risky considering EX Ben Sinister is always an option, but you know what? Just smack him out of the skies with the 4P and going to be taking the first game of Winter Final.
Yep, sadly could not find a moment to really safely activate Resonance. Had to get at least one hit, one knockdown, something, but could not find it as Sonic was playing very defensively there. The return of Zoner Heart. I was waiting for, like, I don't know, a super, maybe? Or EX Ben Sinister. I was kind of expecting it. But I guess Heart can cancel her projectile with homing, can't she? Or like back homing.
Yeah, it costs 1 bar and it you can't block during the the blue flash part of it, but yeah, it's possible.
Hmm. That makes me wonder how that interaction would have played out. If you could do it in reaction to a super, then block in time, maybe not. We will never find out because they swapped off of that team are now on Hilda Neo, which is their staple, I believe.
Yeah. Ooh, set up a sandwich there, but just got hit. Immediately burst out of the situation. Overhead, but no full conversion. Able to bait the DP though.
This is going to be a lot of damage. Hilda already in the red. Eats the overhead, but sadly you cannot jump cancel SJB. So it had to eat the burst. Good on Minitama for recognizing that was a good moment to burst. Now putting S in the blender. Successfully opening her up and ending with DP just to get a burst save since they have no cross gauge. Burst? Super Zero.
I'm very interested that they're playing very proactively with the hill on point despite how low she could have died just straight up there, but a DP going to be catching the Neo. Another instant overhead going to be taking Neo to potentially. I don't think she can cross rate off that situation.
Not quite. But she is in a one-touch. Yep, just dive to the 4P, doesn't block the DP, so Hilda's made it out. Resonance is right in time with the super. DP's out right out of the air. Surprisingly, I'm surprised he didn't back home.
Trying to fly over to this Hilda. A lot of this chip is building up and hits the low just enough to kill. This is suddenly now a pretty even game.
It sure is. I'm surprised she managed to confirm from that distance. But then again, if someone could confirm from any distance, it would be Hilda, wouldn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Just gonna be peppering this S in the corner. Projectiles will be whiffing on the Hilda, but we're getting a lot of that health back, but can't quite get in on this zoner, but does bring her to the corner. Nice whiff punish too. That's a bunch of meter on deck. This should be a kill.
Indeed it is. Takes out the Hilda. And Sonic-kun takes game 1. Game 2. I'm sorry. I thought that was game 1 for some reason. Sonic-kun takes game 2. Very solid lead here. Sonic-kun looking primed for heading into grand finals. But Minitame is sure to offer some strong resistance. Still sticking with the good old Neo Hilda. Gonna have to make some adaptations, however, if they want to overcome Sonic-kun's erratic playstyle.
Erratic is definitely the best way to put it because they Sonic-kun plays in a definitely interesting way. I would describe it as a bipolar turtle. They definitely play defensively, like come the neutral game, but they see that opportunity and they bite on it. Like they see it and they gotta go for it.
I agree completely. In fact, I wanted to mention the past game, they weathered Tommy's offense very well and then bit back, as you would say, with surprising force. And here we can see Neil already halfway through her health. Solid defense, but still gets opened up, sadly.
Alright. Ooh, unfortunately missed the tech chase there, but not going to be able to do quite too much off of it. Once again, going to be playing here from full screen, trying to make something happen.
Hart doing what Hart does best. Didn't manage to pick up off of the super quite yet, but did create a standard situation to open up Hilda yet again. Not quite gonna kill. The burst just for good measure. It slaps Neo out of the air.
Yeah, one-touch situation for both of Menetame's characters, but I have seen some crazy comebacks happen and slowly inching their way to the corner. Not quite able to fully convert off it and baits a throw. This could be the start of something spooky.
Indeed, even creating another standard situation. Baiting the throw, but eating a DP for their troubles. Neo is living on a pixel. One mistake and she is out of here. That DP.
Yeah. That's so unfortunate that, like, Neo DP can't reach SJB height, because, like, if they just do the overhead, I guess she's just kind of screwed.
I guess I'll die. Not much to do. And solo Hilda. Definitely capable, but very dicey, especially against this team. Hard able to just close distances immediately. Must be very unnerving, just like that. Oh.
I know Hilda doesn't particularly enjoy this matchup solo. We're definitely seeing some of the struggle here to pin down this Heart, but not quite able to punish that nail torrent. We're going back into a normal gameplay. Rampage time, definitely good for both players, and we might see the reason why for that here, as they have so much meter to spend, got all that thanks to the Rampage time, and will be killing off Menetame's Hilda in order to get their way to Grand Finals 3-0.
Menetame, of course, still has a chance to prove their worth in losers and maybe make a losers run back to Grand Finals, but we will have to see them there. Congratulations to Sonic for making it to Grand Finals. Very well played on both sides. Yeah, that matchup just did not look fun for Hilda, huh?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's one of those things, like, Hilda is a really strong character, but her horizontal, or not, her diagonal kind of space control is not applicable in really dealing with Heart. A lot of her air buttons face downwards at angles that Heart doesn't really care about being covered. I know anti-airing Heart is always a terrifying prospect for no matter what character it is. So, like, as strong as Hilda can be for controlling space, the specific space that she does cover is not the space that Heart is usually in.
Indeed, Heart is simply flies too high. Hilda, as you said, she just doesn't point upwards unless it's 2B, and you know, it's always scary trying to anti-air Heart. So I can imagine how difficult that must have been. Moving on though, moving back to losers semis. We have Yui versus Diddley. Diddley back on the Lene Hyde. Seemingly enjoyed that team versus Mustache Villain. Is gonna keep it up. While Yui is changed last second to Chie Batista, maybe recognizing the success they had versus Chris with that group.
Yeah. I think it's hard to go wrong with Chie Batista, but yeah, you know, like, Kuragane hasn't been working out too well all night, so just gonna take it seriously from the get-go, and we shall see how this match plays out.
If there was anyone to take it seriously, it would be now. starting
Yeah,
off.
I mean, yeah, just gonna be starting off here with a cross combo, getting out of the situation in turn, but still somehow the sandwich, but a nice block and a good sweep to catch the legs there.
Lene doing as Lene does. Starting some corner pressure, or at least an attempt at it, before Chie jumped out. It's a very well-timed jump. And now, Yui's starting their pressure of their own, able to lock down Lene for a sec until she just jumps over everything and almost manages to pick up Batista in a combo.
Ooh, one touch situation, but unfortunate drop there. Are they able to punish that? No.
Not quite. I don't know how you punish meatballs.
A Barre 5C, the classic.
If it works, I guess. Very nasty situation. Tries to super out. Unfortunately, not quite enough. Oh, but they didn't have cross combo, so they didn't get a full conversion.
Ooh, expected the cross up there, but just got hit by the 5B for the trouble. Not quite dead, but incredibly close.
Batista link to the face. Spells out Knight's Doom. Resonances to avoid the cross up, but gets grabbed immediately, and I'm pretty sure he was just dead with a God Fist. Yep. Game 1 goes to Yui with a pretty solid performance.
Yeah, the Hyde, Lene still working out pretty well overall, despite losing that set. It's just like, I think what I was seeing from both sides is there was definitely some uncomfortability with some CC sequences, and some really good defense too. Like even for some of the CC sequences that were able to fully develop, it's just like, you know, sometimes you just get blocked. And sometimes you just gotta deal with that, and I think the resulting scramble from those situations would cause a lot of the close calls in that set, I feel. Speaking of close calls.
Oh, that Hyde just got nailed, and yeah, I agree completely. In those scramble situations, I do believe Chie and Batista, Chie especially, are just better suited for dealing with those kinds of messy scenarios. Chie making full use of JC, however, cannot escape Chie's super. Eats a decent chunk of damage. Then gets thrown into cross combo pressure. Oh.
Nice push block into the meatballs, but unfortunately from that angle, not really to do anything. Good 2Bs, but like, she can't be counter hit. She just can't be counter hit.
A very interesting decision to not respect Hyde's anti-air. But now we have good old Batista corner pressure, and by that I mean Batista's being pressured in the corner, eating a bit of chip from Hyde, while Lene uses her 50-50 overhead low into a super. Not quite enough to kill without the HC though. With the HC, Batista's out of there.
And like, surprisingly, I feel like this is the first time we've gotten to see solo Resonance Chie. Like, definitely one of the more threatening characters, and she might not even need it here, as it's just smacking around this Lene. Yes, sends out the meatballs, and not afraid at all, just gonna be just sitting with the J, popping the Resonance now. Is gonna be hard for Hyde to have to deal with, unless he masters.
Unless, you know, he's just that good at the game, I suppose. Chie in the corner, good push block, gets her out of there. Not quite able to land the anti-air, and her Resonance has now run out, which is a very big tool off of the table for Yui. He still has Resonance, but sees no need to use it, which I agree with. Only 1 meter on Chie is not quite enough to be a threat.
Oh, that was such a nice dragon kick in order to go over the orbiter. It doesn't have enough meter to kill, but like putting Diddley in the one-touch scenario, I mean, it's one touch for everyone. Everyone gotta be careful.
Yep. Very good use of that Dragon Kick, I really gotta say. Especially because EX Dragon Kick, as you can see there, it has no end lag in the air, so you are actionable immediately after it. And that allows Chie to just instantly jump over Hyde's projectiles and punish him for them, assuming Chie does it with appropriate timing.
Yeah, definitely able to like jump over some of those projectiles, and like especially since Diddley was committing to throwing them out there, it was really hard to call out some of those dragon kicks with like a DP, and like due to the kind of the fast acting nature of how fast she does recover after dragon kick, it can be like a pretty hard call to even DP some of those situations. So as close as it was, Yui will be moving to the moving their score up to 2. I was gonna say moving their score up 1, but that I guess that's technically correct.
You're not wrong. Moving on with this match, Lena Lene very high up in the air, eating a DP for her troubles. Just good old neutral dude, never mind. Immediately gets hit.
Yeah, trying to make something happen here. A nice punish there, and just a quick, solid super order to put her into the red health zone. Gets hit once more, but has to burst out of the situation.
Very good punish. And recognizing that she didn't get hit in order to punish the falling super, not able to punish the JC, because why would you be able to? It's Chia JC. It's just that good. Chia with a corner combo setting up this horrifying Oki situation. Not going for power charge because to a lack of meter, just ending with Batista. It has just been a terrible situation after terrible situation.
Yeah, but this game has been slowly moving back and forth, sweeping the leg there, able to convert fully on time into that super to kill off the Chie. Definitely out of the 2 solo residents here, the most threatening, but this solo Batista can potentially do some work. But not if you miss your flash kick.
That's kind of a prerequisite for getting things going, yeah. Sadly, he's not going to be able to build up the meter for a super. Got the crosshair, but it was a blue beat. You know, sometimes you just gotta DP in neutral. Who knows, maybe it'll work. Sadly, it did not work this time. So, Diddley beats me through.
Assuming that wasn't a misinput, they might have been trying to hard call out like a air dash in, but like, you know, sometimes it do just be like that.
Yeah, and with Batista, who doesn't have her only dedicated anti-air button is DP. I definitely understand being a bit trigger happy with when you're expecting instant air dash. Sadly, did not work out, but Yui definitely still has chances to correct that mistake. Going back to Chie Kurogane, an interesting pick.
Yeah, like in terms of the team working out, it's like I don't think the Batista was doing that terribly, but like maybe they just want to even out the damage differential a little bit and just like ball with something a bit more high damage with the Kurogane.
It definitely gives you the edge in risk reward, and very good presence of mind and reactions to just punish the burst Phantom Pain. Sadly, that is not a combo. Yep, keeping it simple. Not failed to follow up kick for the Oki, but that's okay because they still got a stench situation and we didn't quite kill the Hyde. But Hyde actually lands the super to punish Chie JC this time. We're off to the corner.
Spending a lot of meter to get out, spend the meatballs too in just order to confirm some type of pressure. This Hyde is quite low and calls in the assist in the sandwich situation, but an excellent DP out, going to be preventing Hyde from almost dying.
That was risky. Alright, yeah, basic combo still works. Steals a corner, gets out of there, and does not punish a super because that super actually has very little leg lag. It's kind of hard to punish even on block.
Able to sweep the leg here, trying to get some type of Oki situation, whatever. Lene almost freaking dying. Share if you don't think. Share if you're dead.
Oh, I can't share that. I'm not dead. The switch to Kurigane definitely paying off for you. I can't quite put my finger on what changed. But it definitely helped. And that was enough. Or was that?
Yeah, that's 3-1, I believe.
Oh wow. Gosh, these games just go by flying, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, I think the one big difference is the most obvious difference. The damage was there, and the capitalizations on the mistakes that Diddley was making were a lot more fruitful and impactful compared to the Batista comp. And I think the general difficulty adjusting to a more rushdown focused character might have gave them a little pause on how to deal with that mashup, but regardless, yeah, Yui will be taking that set 3-1 and going to be fighting Metatame with the Narukami Chie potentially.
It's looking like it, unless they change last second. This is gonna be heading into losers finals with this. This decides you're already in top 3. This decides who gets the honor of playing in grand finals.
Everyone playing right now is getting part of the bag, but they might not be getting the bag.
They'll be getting a pocket. Or maybe just part of it. Oh, starting with... I can't tell who they're starting with. Because both of these teams have, they have conversations. Okay, yeah, starting with you, recognizing the utility of 5A. Go. Dang, okay. Let's go.
Yeah, that's a pretty common like anti-5A round start, but yeah, Narukami does have the counterplay with that for just JA. It's definitely an interesting round start RPS, but regardless, going to be playing here with the Chie, blocking all those projectiles from the full screen, Hilda slowly approaching and getting in the Neo here at the end of the sequence.
Neo setting up a pretty awkward situation for Chie, but Chie manages to escape regardless. Hilda just teleporting in front of Chie with the JDV. Instant overhead JC hitting the mark, forcing a burst because Hilda is at the red. Good defense from Yui's party.
Interesting swapping over into the Narukami. Maybe you didn't want to let Chie take the brunt of that damage, but the fact of the matter, this Hilda is still in the red touch zone and still opting to keep her in. It's super risky, but it's been working out so far.
One can only hope it keeps working out for them. Spacing out the Neo with all these JCs, veritable walls, but not really working out because Neo is actually breaking up her persona. It switches back to Hilda, not really letting her heal. Jumps over the 2 and 4B, I believe, with Dragon Kick and getting a hit on Neo. Oh.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate drop combo there. Gonna be turning the tides of battle quite significantly. Narukami in that one-touch zone. Hilda has restored quite a bit of health too, so maybe not quite in that one-touch situation depending on what hits goes on. Sets up the sandwich. This is a big scramble going on right now.
Absolutely. It's just big assists after big assists being called out. No time to rest for either side. Narukami unable to start his pressure because he went too far. Excellently timed Zero diving, punishing Neo, but not quite enough to kill. Just enough to put her in the red. Oh, Narukami's going down for that. Solo Chie definitely a strong character.
Interesting raw tag into the Neo. Did not have her result in death, but still, regardless, there is quite a bit of meatballs being thrown around here. Here comes the giant fist, killing off the Neo. Gonna be spawning in the Agniasta to make something happen. But yeah, this is a very even game until this.
There are decisions being made on screen. ladies and gentlemen. Decisions. Minitame takes game 1. No, game 2.
Yeah, game 1. I know that
Okay.
like that felt like 3 games for how slow paced it was.
Yeah, like it they played very fast, but it was the battle as a whole, the match was so drawn out. Yeah. Minitame takes game 1. Definitely very scrambly games. Lots of spaghetti all over the floor.
Yeah. But looking like we're swapping over to the main team. It seems like they're quite sick of what's going on here, and they just want to speedrun BBTAG.
Wait a second, I know this team. Isn't this the team they won the record for the fastest BB tag match with?
I think so, yeah, but I mean, already losing out on their world record time, not going to be getting any splices here either, and just being getting hit by the Hilda.
Sadly, no world record to be seen here. Adachi being put in a pretty uncomfortable position. Full screen high lows, courtesy of Hilda. That's 2 of them. Adachi is already in the red and probably like 1 hit away from death. Likely going to be active switching Chie in here. There it is.
That looks not good at all. Level 2 power charge is going to be quite a bit of damage, but not as much as it could be with that drop combo. Adachi getting hit, but not going to be getting killed.
Not quite enough, and Minitame turning the tables on Yui. Adachi is back in. Oh no, never mind, Chie's back in. Gotta let him heal a bit. Hilda herself also is kind of low, just a bit above red health. Managing to open up Chie, but sadly cannot confirm off of that because it is... You just can't confirm off of it without help. Chie on her last legs now. Cross combo to punish Neo. This could be a lot of damage if she didn't drop out.
Yeah, I think that would have been killed if there was a proper power charge setup, but unfortunately just a little bit of a misinput. Gets a little slapped by the 4P there. Not a lot of meter on deck and not enough time to go into cross raid either.
That's Chie on the other side of the screen very handily. This is a dead Hilda, purely off of just a cross combo with no meter required. The DP hits its mark. This is dead. Okay.
Yeah. They were like, I gotta save this meter for the next round.
I understand. In this economy, I get it.
Yeah.
Gotta save where you can. I believe that ties it up 1-1.
Yeah. The swap over to Adachi Chie maybe not as comfortable as a transition as they might have liked, but you know, iron out with the team. Hopefully they are able to shore out some of the awkwardness, and maybe they'll be able to take it quite convincingly, because obviously Chie Adachi probably one of the most explosive teams in the game, so Minitame gotta be careful, especially considering how generally low damage characters they are. They're gonna lose their damage race.
Absolutely. Yeah, see, if you didn't burst here, Hilda would be dead. And if Adachi actually blocked the burst, I think Neo would have been dead. Maybe. I don't think the meter, I don't think they would have been able to build enough meter, actually, so never mind. Full screen cross combo, getting Chie in there, I would assume. Never mind.
Alright. That was kind of a nasty tip for a setup.
Even so, I'm just impressed at Yui. They have been able to block these full screen mixes quite well, only being opened up a handful of times, despite how often they find themselves in that situation. That is also yet another nasty tick throw.
It's like it could all like crumble down in the instant, but this momentum they have here with this Neo Hilda is going quite hard and was able to get quite the good kill here on the Adachi 2. Going to be putting them in a 2v1 situation with quite a significant advantage, but even the odds a little bit with this air-to-air combo.
GA does have a medium-sized hold climb. She can definitely make up the difference. We're off to a great start here. This Neo could just die here if they didn't, let go for Oki. Neo, however, is still just living on a flirt. That clashed. Oh my god.
Gonna be swapping over the Neo despite the fact that she is literally one touch. Are you sure you want to do that? Okay. Yeah, kept it all like airtight there just to make sure that she survived. Oh my god. Yeah, that's super hard for Hilda to punish.
Yu is just letting these DPs rip, and they are working very well. Manages to take up the Neo with that one.
There's just so many DPs going on here, it's ridiculous. Yeah, I can't punish because that was the EX version of the Dragon Kick, but the 5H, the 5C, now here's the bonker.
It's crazy that despite how far Hilda's 5C hits, that range is still a range where you would want to block low because her 2C is perhaps even bigger.
It's like... Zoner block.
This is a half screen low. Very strong button. Oh wow, these matches have been. It's kind of fun actually seeing Chie just throw herself across the screen just to try to reach Hilda, and oftentimes succeeding.
Yeah. So you get like the Chie, I think. Like I keep on mentioning the damage differential, but we're not really seeing a lot of the breadth of it because I feel like Yui has been very liberal with their kind of resource expenditure, especially like defensive options and just using it for Agneasta. This team is explosive, but if you keep on spending the meter for stuff like neutral and like defensive options in general, it's a little awkward to get those insta-kill setups going. Not necessarily that you have to rely on them, of course, like we've seen them not like go for them too often, but some of those situations where I feel like it could be available, it's just it's not, just because yeah, like I said, there's just so much research expenditure being used here. Oh god, we're back.
We are definitely. We're back to the toothpaste meatballs, and yes, I agree completely. Huey might have to keep an eye on their resource expenditure just to be able to properly cash out on those big moments that they so often happen to find or force. Hilda back against the wall, almost in the red now. And one hit away, that JC is very dangerous, very ballsy DP too.
Yeah, you try to keep up the aggression as hard and fast as possible, but not getting any kill on that Hilda. This is a huge benefit for Metatame, and then they wasted it.
Yep, Yui just flat out has a big advantage now. Two pretty healthy characters gets a grab against solo Neo. This won't be a kill. In fact, Minatami tried to escape by doing super, got slightly punished for it. Another sandwich situation here gets opened up by the same no mix-up.
This is some insane defense so far. Good patience, trying to just get out of this corner situation without spending too much. Finally pushed once out. They still got a heavy mountain to climb though.
Especially considering Neo. Yeah. Closes this out with the what I assume is a failed quick block attempt. Quite unfortunate indeed. But with that, they even the playing field. It is now match point for losers finals.
Yeah, it's gonna be with the Yumi Chie comp from Yui's side. definitely a good comp to bet your tournament life on for sure. And are we gonna see? Okay,
Oh, no,
I was
not
gonna.
quite.
I mean, like, Hilda Chie is a crack team. I wouldn't be surprised if they whipped out something like that, but I've never seen Minatame on that comp specifically, so I don't know if they have it available, but it would have been funny.
It would have been funny indeed. But it is also true that this is not quite the moment to experiment. Of course, you could. I wouldn't stop you. Uh, but last game of losers finals, might wanna would rather lock it, I believe. All right, instantly two cross combos from both sides. Uh, ultimately it's Minitame that's hit first. However, nothing big comes from that except for that she insists nailing Neo right out of the sky.
I guess it with a JC, but not enough space in order to keep it all burst safe, unfortunately.
And look, getting some work done on Chie, down to half HP. Almost sets up a scary situation, but manages to burst just in time to interrupt both characters. Oh wow. Yumi 214A mix-up being used. Real.
Ooh, yeah, not enough time to recover from that move, and just going to be allowing the Hilda to come out and play. Neo still in that one touch zone, whiffs that JB. This is not the type of character you want here in this corner situation. What's it going to be? Mids?
Well, a very well-timed DP is what it's going to be. Managed to escape that situation and start a cross-combo of their own. Great defense from Yui. Eats the assist. And then counter hits with a Neo combo for a pretty penny of damage. A modest 5k into a blue combo. Was that a TRN? I realized now that might be a TRN.
Oh, but yeah, just bursts out. Doesn't have enough time to do anything.
Could Hilda not DP Chie when she does meatballs? Maybe it's too slow.
It might be too slow. What was that hit? That was like, they were dead anyways, but like the fight, like auto combo ender, just like hitting the Neo anyways. That was unfortunate, and well, there goes Metatop.
As it turns out, toothpaste meatballs win in the end. Nasty as they may be. Yui advances to grand finals. Minitame out at third. Excellent showing. Great games from both of our players here.
Yes. And looking like we will be getting to our potentially last or even second to last set of this tournament, which will be Sony-kun versus Yui. Definitely an interesting matchup that I don't think I've actually seen before. Surprising kind of for a grand finals set, but obviously both these players are incredibly strong and they will be fighting to see who gets the dub. But before we end off tonight's tournament, I gotta remind everyone in the audience once more about our Matcherino. Please click the link that has been provided in the chat here and go to our Matcherino page. And if you are so inclined, click that yellow orange contribute button over on the top right and put in as much money as you would like into tonight's bracket. It's completely optional, but if you're feeling that generous, the option is available to you. Big shout outs to our streamer E30 for giving $5, our TO Master Chief for giving 10, and the GOAT Darkslayer for giving another $10. If you want to be in that donation, I guess, like, kind of list, the option is there. And if you want to make us say something really whack, the option is also there as well. So yeah, make sure everyone checks out the Matcherino if that sounds quite interesting. And it looks like we will be getting to the next part of the bracket, and Yui is playing Chie Yukiko.
What are your thoughts on this one?
First of all, I don't know if Yui can cook with Yukiko, but like I hope she can cook better than Yukiko can cook with it. This team, in my I think controversial opinion, is more on the mid end rather than the high end of Yukiko teams. It's quite solid overall. It has a lot of funny options with what you can do in terms of damage, but it can be a pretty awkward team when it comes down to certain scenarios just due to the I mean you're playing Yukiko. It can be quite the struggle in a specific matchup. If you're not super familiar how to play the character, then you might struggle in some regard. I don't know how much Yui has played Yukiko, so this will be interesting. I'll be able to tell really quickly. I'll say that.
Very well. Well, we have the Soul Bad Guy and Akiha Vermilion colors on deck, so no toothpaste to be found here. That is an... I'm sorry, I got flashbanged by that. What the...
Okay, I can already tell. I'm gonna be real with you guys. The Yukiko is not cooking. I can already tell watching this for 10 seconds, but it doesn't matter. Chie is just that strong. She got the 2B check, the 6P in the back. She gets the pop off.
Manages to punish the DP with 6P. Another DP does hit its mark though. Sonic-gun starting their game here, bringing Chie to the corner. Instant overhead does connect, but the burst manages to interrupt all of Sonic-gun's offense until he just gets a grab and continues it anyway. Does not really care. Both of Yui's characters quite low. Chie, however, is recovering HP. X gets hit by the fire super. I'm not really sure what to call it.
Rogudyne.
Oh, right. It has a proper name. Oh, that's interesting. Yukiko, Sonic might actually have a bit of a harder time counter assist calling Yukiko 4P due to the fact that both S and Heart have assist projectiles that can go full screen, but since they're projectiles, it just won't affect Yukiko at all. You're gonna have to go in and attack her directly.
That was actually kind of funny. The Resonance call combined with it hitting the Persona was actually let Yui punish that normally safe setup, and that is a lot of chip damage. That is one touch. And the solo fuzzy! What the frick?
See, just Chie things, I suppose. Alright, gets power charged, but gets thrown right after. Very ballsy.
Yeah, to say the least, yeah. I had a heart attack.
That you could have just died for that instantly. Resonance is no longer an option for either side. Managed to break the Persona twice. That is actually, what, 10% HP damage? 5%? I forgot.
I think it's 5%. I play a Persona character, I don't know that number. It's too much.
I also play a Persona character, but it's Akihiko, so like, I don't worry about it too much.
Yeah.
Meatballs?
We're playing neutral.
Neither side wants to approach. Well, no, now they want to approach. I just had to say something. Chie just forcing her way in with aerial EX Dragon Kicks manages to knock ass out. Not Sonic, Yui. Yeah, taking the first game of Grand Finals.
Yeah. Off the back of the Chie, was the Yukiko cooking? Not particularly, but like, if anything, that's just like further proof of just how good Yui's Chie is. Like, was able to navigate that 2v1 very well, applying a lot of power charge that kind of cancels in order to not even necessarily get the hits, just like dramatically increase the amount of and dramatically increase the amount of chip they were doing, just to put them in that range where it's just like, it doesn't matter if I don't get a full conversion off anything I'm doing. I can just touch you once. So, yeah, interesting to see here. But we'll see how Sony-kun adapts.
Definitely off to a bombastic start. Didn't quite manage to get a hit on Loki, but has brought Yui to the corner. Yui breaking out with JCs and well-placed assists. And we're back to neutral.
Alright, just gonna be busting out here. Nice call on this cross combo, gonna be keeping it all safe here. And yeah, Yukiko is already at level 5 just through relatively good 6P assist calls, but unfortunately the Chie is getting hit, put into the red zone. This could be dangerous.
Not quite dead, but that Feisty is going to connect, and she is now at one-touch range. Gets hit by Feisty again, and Chie is out of there. Thank goodness Yukiko has level 5 Fire Boost, because that means she might actually stand quite a powerful chance here.
Well, she's level 9 now and immediately getting hit. What, like, look, I get the level 9 is funny, but perfect his situation of why you don't want to overboost there. Lost a lot of momentum they could have possibly spent zoning, going to be wasting a lot of that resonance and taking a lot of damage. This may be a fatal mistake. Of course. Of course.
It's Yukiko, you know? That chip is adding up, however. And S did take 13,000 damage. Oh, that's okay.
Yeah. Look, just because you're level 9 does not mean you get a free win.
Still gotta work for those hits.
Yeah.
Sonic-kun taking game 2, showing that they're not about to lay dead on the floor and let Yui get the grand finals proper.
Yes. Will they commit, though?
They seem to be deciding.
They won.
What
They won
will-
one game with the team.
It is quite possible that Sonic-kun has already just adapted well enough, and that win just proved to Yui that, maybe I should perhaps pick another character. We shall see as soon as they pick their character.
I don't know. Like,
Oh.
okay, Chie Kotsky. You know what? Good team.
That very good team. Yeah, with this team, they not only is it very strong for Chie, they've also they have access to unblockables with this team. The easy beat to unblockables, and Katsuki just in general, very unique options with his parry. Also gives access to a fireball, a traditional fireball, which can be nice. Maybe in this matchup.
Yeah, gonna be set up to say, oh, that's a free unblockable setup. Yeah.
Yep. And even if you force the unblockable, yeah, you're still put in these nasty situations. Hard leadership.
Ooh, DP's out of the situation, but that is not the right call here. Gonna be building up some of that damage here, and yeah, double dragon kick going to be leading to a nice solid 10k. Sonic-kun's in trouble.
Very much so. Chie and Akatsuki are both very healthy. Chie basically having only taken chip damage. Akatsuki did eat a big old super right now, but managed to mash out with 4A. Continues to combo. And we're back to neutral. Welcome. Sonic-kun has to make big moves here. No,
Well, DP is quite the big move, I gotta say.
that's true. You know, go big or go home, as to say. I don't think. Well,
That was still active?
Still standing. I am the indomitable thunder.
just go for the. You know, sometimes you won, right? Yui did in fact take the win.
There was indeed a W.
Maybe they just wanted to show off a little. But indeed, that super does have a bit more startup than one might imagine.
Yeah. unfortunate, but it's only so unfortunate because they won't.
Yep, I mean, if you win, does it really matter? Not too much. Regardless, off to game 3 we go. And Sonic-kun is already making big waves. Like a modest, 11k.
Is he dead?
If you don't burst, yeah, he would have been dead.
Yeah,
Akatsuki immediately sent to the hospital.
Well, this is a complete turnaround from last game, to say the least. This is some insane pressure. Did not block the slippy slide mix, though.
Yeah, Yui has just been either been on the back foot or been unable to get anything going. He didn't block the cross-up, and that is a very quick game to Sonic-kun. Evening it up immediately.
Yeah. Sonic-kun one more game away from just taking the entire tournament.
Gotta make big moves here, fellas.
So yeah, I mean, if they're able to like bring some of that energy into this last game, I'm expecting a swap from Yui. I don't know what to exactly, whether or not they want to lock in and play one of the time-tested comps, or they want to try to catch Sonic-kun by surprise in order to seal out this winners finals. I'm not sure, but they are thinking about it.
They certainly are. They're taking their sweet time as they can, because honestly, this is they have been backed into a corner. They are one win away from resetting and entering true grand finals. But oh, yep, we saw the what?
GA Wandering Wolf. The Wandering Wolf is gonna be the one to decide whether or not we're going to Shin Grand Finals or to just the tournament ending. I see.
Hang on, I'm missing some context. The Wandering Wolf, isn't that the name of Akihiko's theme?
I guess so, but that's a player's name.
Oh,
Old SoCal player. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, the lore. I wasn't aware. Let's see how it plays out. Because Lene is, as we have seen, she's definitely a character.
What? Yui's just out here playing Spacer Chie with JA. That's hilarious. Ooh, but a nice cross up.
Actually manages to cross up despite her being in the corner somehow. Actually, anti-air's hard with that humongous 5B, but Sonic-kun did actually block in time. Cute little standard situation, but doesn't result to much.
I don't know why they appeared on that side. SDP actually working. Going for the unreactable overhead too. Going to be maintaining this momentum, but unfortunately drops the combo, but does get the air chase.
Chie in the red. This could be dangerous if Yui isn't careful. Yep, swapping immediately back to Lene. And
hit the command grab, yeah.
Command grab. Lene still has half her health. She can take a few hits. I think I was gonna attempt to just active switch out of there, but it didn't quite pan out.
Yeah, they're trying to make something happen here with this Lene. Keeping her out. Definitely wants the Lene to die over the Chie for sure, but still trying to make something happen here. Smacks out the Chie, but gets the happy birthday. This could be devastating if there was CC on deck, but fortunately not.
That will be Lene going down to a quick combo from S. Solo Chie definitely more than capable of pulling this off, but will have to do more than an aerial VP in order to do it. And with that, Sonic-kun takes the final game, wins Grand Finals. Ladies and gents, we have our champion of the night.